Hey, everybody, welcome to Table 18 Podcast. My name is Cutty, and that is...
Damon.
Wow, full action fucking figure status today. I love that.
Yeah.
Damon's obviously had his caffeine.
In the zone.
Yeah, how you doing today, bud?
I'm doing fucking great, man. I'm glad it's not freezing ass cold anymore.
Yeah.
This weekend, it just dropped on us, you know?
Yeah, it was crazy. For a minute, it got like sad. I was like, do we make stew now? What are we doing? Like,
right.
It was like, we were getting ready to party. And now, but I will tell you that the weather forecast was supposed to be a storm on Saturday, and that cleared up like the day of, so we could have pancakes at my house. Which
Dodging storms is a story of our life, man.
Story of my motherfucking life.
Yeah.
And also a story of living in the Northwest, being from the Northwest in spring. You don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes.
That's right.
Something else will come.
It'll change.
So today we got a question, and I think that the people on the internet will love this one. Now, are you on time? Are you early, or are you late as a person?
Now this is kind of hilarious because first of all, everybody in the room right now has experience with me at different times, you know, and so I have to admit, I can't front, because like literally until I was 50 years old. First of all, I was 20 till I was 50.
Yes.
And then I turned 50.
Yeah.
And it was a weird thing. Like I skipped the 30s.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And and until I was 50, I was always late. Always late. And somewhere along getting sober again and having this realization, like that's some really fucking self-centered shit to do. And now like I like to be on time. I don't
100%.
I don't like to get places too early. If I do, if some things, you know, you kind of have to show up early to not risk being late. I find other things to keep me entertained, but I really don't like being late because I don't like stepping on other people's time. But I didn't learn that till I was 50.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I owe both of you an apology for many late.
Well, dude, the amazing thing about you is we already know this about each other, and we've had these conversations. It's like that being late for you was tied to some behavior that you were just done. It wasn't just being late.
Yeah.
You were like, there was this person that Damon was, Damon doesn't want to be that person, and this is just one of the symptoms of that disease.
Right. Yeah.
Someone clean this whole thing up. Right?
Yeah.
Me personally, I am chronically early.
You are.
I am chronically early, and so much, in fact, I think it makes people uncomfortable, but I will sit there and entertain myself.
You totally will.
I'm fine. I can read something. I can watch a fucking YouTube video.
I got to say, I never really worry about it with you where I might with other people.
Yeah.
But I always just know that you're okay and that you're not there early because you need me to be early.
No, I don't need it. Yeah, but I will tell you that I do take exception when people are chronically late.
Absolutely.
Like if you like, I've had people, you and I both have the good fortune of like mentoring people, right, in our lives. And there are people that have called me, you know, we have an appointment at my house. It's 3:00. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm probably not going to be there until 3:20. And I've told them, hey, look, turn around and go home.
Yeah.
Well, I'm already halfway there. I'm in rush hour traffic. Sorry.
Yeah.
I have
I'm
other
on a
shit going
schedule
on.
and the next thing is
I made a schedule with you, and I wouldn't do that to you. And the first time, sure, it's fine, right? Like whatever, shit happens. We live in a major metropolitan area.
There's some flexibility.
Yeah, I'm not a dickhead, right? But like if this is behavior that is obvious, it's just turn around. And in fact, next time if you're late, don't bother.
Yeah.
Just know that like I have a
just let me know you couldn't make it.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna be angry.
Yeah.
I won't. Well, I will be angry or at least frustrated with you if I'm sitting there waiting. And
well, you don't want someone else's chronic lateness to then influence you to where you're late to the thing after you because you're always trying to be on time.
Right.
Early, you know?
And there's an extra component that it's like, now I feel rushed.
Yeah.
Now, whatever we're doing, I feel like I have to be
right.
rushed.
When we stay on schedule, everything's chill.
Everything's chill. And then I'm like, it's like when you're driving, right? I want to leave by this time. If I'm driving the car, just be in the car at this time.
Yeah.
This is when we're leaving because I don't want to rush and drive like a fucking crazy person because you're bad at time.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We want to drive like a crazy person because it's fun.
Because it's
fun. Not because
because we used to steal cars, all right?
Driving fast is
real.
Awesome.
Because driving fast is fun.
Yeah.
So on that note, why don't we hear
all right
from our guest?
All right, let's hear from him.
You know me. Well, see, thing was I was one of your clients.
Yeah.
And then you were kind enough to be a volunteer on my public access show.
Yeah.
You know that all of the production that went on, like any of the video clips that were played, you know, we had that thing called the commercial break because we
Yep.
weren't allowed to do commercials at public. So I was always like, I was such a smart ass,
Yeah.
and I was
You
always,
were-
I was always pushing it. I was always pushing their fucking buttons, but that's just who I am.
Right.
I'm a habitual button pusher, habitual line stepper, and I would have to be there early, you know, to get that work done. But also, it was like, well, this is my burden, so I shouldn't be putting all the shit on all the volunteers that are showing up doing this for free. So that kind of got me into it. Then I had a job with a particular utility company here in the state. I won't mention, but they can fuck up. But anyhow, I worked, ruined my neck and my back working my ass off for them, and all I got was fired because I wanted to get off of opiates and started smoking weed. And first week back from my injury, they said, "Oh, pee in this," and I was like, "Shit."
Right.
So another story, another time. But
Right.
but at my new job, I'm a Teamster, and
Yeah.
I work for a particular grocery company, and I'm down in Auburn. But they had to literally tell me, could you please not clock in any more than 5 minutes before your normal shift start?
Right.
And I was like, okay, because I was clocking in 15, 20 minutes, because I'm of the old man opinion. If you ain't early, you're
Yep.
late.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Well, my shit came from a fucking the first chef I ever cooked for. He was like, if you're
You're on time?
yeah,
You're on
tot-
time, you're late.
on time. If you're 15 minutes early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. If you're late, don't bother coming
Well,
because
you
you're
know,
fired.
you got the roller skate
You're
guys.
fired.
You got the roller
Yeah.
skate guys,
Yeah.
right? They just come in and there's sideways to the time clock.
Yeah, totally.
Shit, trying to clock in with seconds left. you know?
Yeah.
And then they're just a discombobulated mess of shit that takes them 15, 20 minutes, maybe half an hour to get
Right.
their shit together
Yeah.
before they're even in work mode, because I'm walking in like, dick swinging. Like,
Yeah.
let's go to work, boys. And but now I'm like a union shop steward, safety committee member, lead fueler. I train all the new guys. I train the new drivers on some certain things. And so I kind of have this responsibility. And then I have, a daughter and grandsons that we'll talk about later. But, all of these kind of elements in my life kind of just compelled me to grow the fuck up. And,
Yeah.
Well, no,
and
it's
be
funny. It's
responsible.
yeah.
Yeah. Not that I wasn't when I was, my previous when I was married and I was doing this show and working at that utility company. I had those responsibilities and I was good then. But it's weird how you can just backslide or you can just fall out. Because after I got out of the marriage and the show went to shit, and I was with, like, I lost all of that discipline,
Yeah, well, I mean, I
it
think
kinda
that's
took
like-
me a minute to get it back.
Yeah, there's probably a certain amount of feeling sorry for yourself and then getting stuck in that depressive cycle.
Well, just getting so polluted that you just don't fucking care anymore.
Yeah.
Or like I had an acting opportunity. Probably would have been a great opportunity for me because after the marriage, I got into like the singing again and acting. I had this guy offered me a lead role, man, and I was so spun that I just like kept putting it off. I was supposed to be there at a certain time, and finally I come like, "Hey, man, I'm almost there." He goes, "Yeah, don't bother."
Yeah.
And that was just like, it jarred me. Like, I was like, oh, wow. Like, I realized at that moment, I'm like, wow, I fucked up a grand opportunity because I was so fucked up and so inconsiderate, I didn't even think about it. Because, when you're on certain chemicals, the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
do
man.
I know what you mean?
It's only 5 minutes, but it's really been like 5 hours.
Dude,
You're like,
it's like, yeah, no, I do.
you guys can't relate, I'm
No.
sure, but yeah.
No, are you kidding? I was over an hour late every day during my relapse. Like
Somehow,
minimum
some way.
1 hour late to 6 p.m. appointments.
I was fortunate because I got,
So
I got
crazy.
Layne Damon at Slave to the Needle,
Yeah.
and Apocalypse, and then got his own shop, Super G, and I'm like, so I always got the good you, the expo guy, like you were on fucking fire, but you were definitely professional, and I never had to doubt you. I never doubted you for shit because, like, you're my boy.
I'm looking at that too. It still looks good.
Shit
Yeah.
still looks good, don't it? I tell
Yeah,
people all
yeah.
the time, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I tell the story. I'm like, I walked in and he says, we're not doing this today, right? And I was like, I kind of figured that because we
Right.
walk in and we're going to do the Great White. And he's like, He goes, no, there's a guy in Atlanta. I remember this specifically. There's a guy in Atlanta that set the bar, and he goes, and I'm going to raise the motherfucker on.
Which is
I'm totally good with that.
that shows you how cocky I was because
and I loved it, dude, because I was the same way. I was like, oh yeah, I'm cocky. I like you be cocky on my arm, bro.
Yeah.
Like set the bar, bro. But he was like, no, I need to see how light refracts off there, man. I want to make sure. And I'm like, okay, thing, And I remember this, Damon, when I first met him, he did this tattoo here, and we got the little cartoon turtle. And I remember he said this story, and he said, because I kept coming back, I traded him a saxophone, an alto saxophone.
Oh, that's
my
right.
alto sax from school that I learned how to play on. I traded it for a cover up.
Yeah.
This
Dude,
here.
my first, okay, so I got to tag in on this. First Damon tattoo was a trade too. It was a trade. Yeah, I don't know if you remember this. He did this fucking Chun-Li on my arm, and I had this fucking necklace.
Okay.
Right? And it was a big,
he's a good barterer,
it was
man.
a big cross fucking pendant on it, right?
Oh yeah, silver.
Just so Damon was like, what's that made out of? I'm like, it's fucking silver, I think. And he's like, he was like, that's dope. And I was like, want to give me a tattoo for it? And he was like, I do.
Yeah.
He's good like that.
Holy shit.
But you know what? This said a lot about the man's integrity to me. And he's multiple times that I've known Damon over the years that I've had experiences where he's shown who the real Damon, even, like I said, I always got sober use. So you always had good character as far as I'm concerned. But I came in and we're doing all this work. We're doing the octave because a lot of this is cover up. Like,
sure. Dude, all this is covered.
I'll tell you real quick, that turtle, tortoise, whatever you want to call it right there, we covered that. That was the Queensryche emblem. And my friend JJ down in Phoenix, the bass player for Rob Halford did his band. Rob Halford did his band Fight. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
The little short bass.
Yeah.
That was my boy. He did the Queensryche emblem on me. And so I told David, I was like, I was into him the Queensryche back then, but it's not a thing now. I'm not like a little high school girl. So we like,
I mean,
I know they don't have the long hair and blue eyes.
Right.
Anyhow, we were doing this, and so we're getting into all this work, and Damon goes, man, I really wish I hadn't done that turtle on you. I wish I had taken you more seriously. He goes, I'm never going to do that again. He says, I'm never going to doubt that someone's just a one and done. He goes, I'm always going to do work like that person's going to come back and sit down.
that's dope.
And so he was like, I wish I hadn't. I go, Damon, I said, and I tried to put his mind at ease. I said, bro, my personality, I'm like, everything that's serious, to have that little like surf and cartoon turtle up here, dude, is perfect, man. Because it just says, I don't take myself too seriously, bro. I'm like, and I can be serious a lot of times. I can be.
You can't take yourself too serious. We were just talking about this, right?
We were.
So yeah.
What's that?
You can't do that. You can't take yourself too serious.
You really can't.
Life is too fucking short.
Yeah, I know, right? And so I'm like, no, dude, this is fine. I'm like,
so listen to this. Damon goes out, he comes back, and I get out of prison right about the same time that Damon comes back in the rooms.
Yeah.
And so Damon, that first year, he was real fucking like, you could tell.
In touch with you for.
Yeah, you could tell that Damon was like, he was just holding on for fucking.
It took a long time for my brain to come back.
It did. Like you could tell.
I did like a quarter ounce of blow a day for a year and a half.
Shit.
Yeah.
No, I remember that's
just not
came
good for
from
your head,
Slave to the Needle when I met you. That's what you were coming.
Yeah. So he was like, I was like, hey man. After a while, I was like, hey, would you do a sleeve on me? And he was like, man, I'm not really taking me. Because now I know he was just being real careful with how much he was taking on, right?
Right.
And I looked at him and I was like, I need to get this covered up. And I showed him the tattoo that he did, which was a great tattoo, but just had no fucking meaning for me anymore.
Yes.
Right? It was
get that.
Chun-Li, right? Like
I always forget that you had like a Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
tattoo.
it was
Like,
Street Fighter.
or Street Fighter. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, Damon. I said, Damon, I'm going to get this covered up and I will tell people that this is a Damon Conklin and they're covering it up. And he was like, okay, fine. I can fit you in. Yeah.
Well, what's crazy was when I was fresh back, I was super fucking booked. And so like I was out of my mind and overwhelmed and like, you know.
Oh no, totally. And my
that was a weird
personality,
time,
I'm
man.
sure it was fucking like, hey, what's going on?
Well, we hadn't quite figured out how we worked together yet.
Yeah,
at that
totally.
point, so-
Yeah, absolutely.
Wild. I'll talk to people, you know, complete strangers or whatever. I'm like, you know, Damon. I go, you know, the Seattle Tattoo or Seattle Expo.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. I go, you know, the guy who puts it on. I go, he used to have a big fro. I go, but this is a cool brother. Probably has a goatee or whatever. I said, but his name's Damon. They go, yeah, I know that guy. I go, yeah, that's the guy that did all that.
Nice.
You know, and it's just like for me, I'm just like, yeah, check that shit out. And then I show up. Do you remember what's on the side?
I don't.
You don't remember?
No, my
Right.
memory is really bad.
So 03, that's okay, brother.
Yeah.
We're all getting there. 03 and 04, I was the MC for the, and dude, 04, I made so many fucking artists so much money. Like JJ
Yeah.
Luiso, I remember he came to me, he was like, Nikki, anything you want, bro, it's on the house, man.
Right,
He goes,
right.
I hit fucking Black Saturday afternoon and was just rolling for the rest of the weekend in profit. And I was like, oh, okay. So, but I remember like artists were coming up and they were just like, they were telling, Damon was coming to me going, man, the artists are loving you, dude. They're like,
Yeah.
your energy on the microphone and the contest. And I was, you know, I was doing the Waterboys. So for me, it was just an easy thing to just, you know, I made the promo videos and everything each year and all. And so to me, it was just a labor of love, man.
Right.
But, I remember it's like, Damon says, well, I'm going to give you a tattoo. He says, and he goes, I'm going to give you a great fucking deal on it. And Damon is known for his gadget girls.
Right.
So
Sure.
that is like his like signature kind of thing is. And so I was like, all right, so what are we going to do? Because it's got to be ocean scene. He says, well, and I'm like, you know, I ain't got a problem with redheads.
Right.
So we decided to do the, you remember the mermaid?
Shit.
Yeah, nice, dude.
And let me tell you that,
I'm gonna have to get pictures. Of some of this stuff, man.
that spot, that teaches you,
pull out a
that
little
teaches
bit
you to be committed. That spot there determine whether you want tattoos or not. Because man,
Yeah. How bad do you want it?
Oh,
You know.
bro,
Yeah.
I remember the healing part, man. You're like crawling around like some prize fighter had just beat the shit
Yeah,
out of
dude.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I always got the good, Damon, because you were in your good years then, you know. And
Thanks.
so,
Yeah.
but the 03 and the 04 expos. He calls them expos. I call them conventions, whatever.
Well, so okay, so let's
sorry,
let's
I'm
do
going-
this. Let's bring you in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, we should probably give everybody a little fucking taste of your pedigree, right? On today's episode, we have Nikki the Saint Costello, also known as Billy Painted Horse, also known as Billy Wayne Hall, also known as Dirk Diggler. He's got quite
A man of many names
man
and
of
many
many
experiences.
names. He's a Seattle legend, man.
I don't know about
Oh,
that.
come on, stop it.
When people say that you should write a book of your life, they say you should write an encyclopedia.
Yeah. And what it really comes down to is like there was an era, for those that don't know, maybe that they're too young or, you know, aren't from Seattle. There was an era where our public access television was like the most vibrant thing, one in all of the country.
Yeah.
And what that included was the Goddess Kring.
Yes.
It included Mike Hunt. Mike Hunt was
Mike and I
actually
are still good friends.
Mike
I talk to
Hunt
him
was a fighter for freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech. Oh yeah, Tom Likas.
Yeah.
ACLU had his back.
Yeah, Tom Likas, ACLU. It
I
became
spoke for him at a couple of them.
nationwide thing.
Are we gonna not talk about the bong hit Olympics?
Yes,
Like that was
Bong Hit
like-
championship. Yeah, the Bong Hit championship.
That's it. Yeah. Public access was dope.
It was
dude.
dope. And then there was the Waterboys sports show that was
Yeah.
on for 10 years.
Yeah.
What were the guys? And I always feel bad. The guys that did it was like an almost live show. He had a Cadillac, like a '59 Cadillac limousine. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. Well, there was Deface the Nation.
Deface the Nation was another one, but that wasn't it.
Then there was the Ghetto Sports Report. They came in after us, but there were a couple of black kids that just came in and they loved the Waterboys, you know. But
Yep.
then there was, I remember there was a couple girls that did a show too about relationships. They like to run through our show and show their titties. It's just,
That's never a bad time.
I'm trying to think of the show you're talking.
Yeah.
about.
Anyways.
And then there was that. Then there was that Reverend dude. Remember that crazy?
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
And then there was Pastor Mary. Oh, she hated me. We tormented the shit out of that poor woman. Yeah, that Reverend, I can't remember his name, but that dude was nuttier than squirrel shit.
So you became
Identity shows. on
Yeah.
public
Oh,
access.
dude, and it was a fucking era, and
It
like
really was.
and I met you doing sound and
Yes.
helping with cameras and stuff.
Yes.
And one of the things that had happened was during that time, I remember we would pull up to the studio, and there was times where there would be picket lines
Yes.
and shit outside the studio up on 99
right.
because of Mike Hunt. Because there was
Right,
My-
right.
and TJ.
You had like the
Yeah.
moral majority out there. or
yeah, the
some
moral
shit.
majority. And, and for those that don't know, is Mike Hunt was showing porn snippets and
Yeah.
It's off his little
Doing-
honey bear bong.
doing bong hits off a fucking honey bear bong.
The classic.
The classic.
That is like the coolest classic improv bong in the world.
Well, and it's like, what are we saying? 99?
No, well, we started in 97 and went to 06.
So-
we was
Okay,
right
yeah.
in that.
Right in
spot.
that 98.
Well, and it was
99.
Yeah.
pre-YouTube.
It was.
Yes.
You know,
Yes, it was.
like everything
Yes, it
that
was.
most people think is cool about YouTube was born from the egg that was
Was I
public
not-
access
did I just-
TV.
We were just talking about, and I've thought
Yeah.
about that too. There's a lot of like,
Where you could see truly random stuff made by actual human
Human-
beings.
yeah.
We did,
You know?
what we did on the Waterboys.
Yeah.
would be a massive
See it
thing.
all over the fucking all YouTube,
Yeah.
and Rumble, whatever. And I'm like telling him, I'm like, I ponder sometimes what we could, because I wanted.
You
to
were
transition
YouTube
to
before YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't, really.
Well, we thought about it, and it was 06, but I
Yeah.
was dating the adult film star, and I was just going into the drugs.
Other
and, you know,
priorities.
yeah, man, you know.
I get that, man.
Hey man, there's nothing like.
Pussy make you do stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's nothing
But-
as powerful as the feminine divine
Yes.
Yeah.
and dope and pussy
Oh, I've
is.
followed my nose and my loins into
that's
all the
the
wrong
other-
places.
Dude, I have
Right.
followed-
That's the other devil's triangle.
I have followed, dude. I have followed my dick into places I
Oh
wouldn't
my
go with a
God,
gun.
dude.
All right,
That's
so
right,
like,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Bane of man, like
Yeah.
2 heads and only enough blood to run one function properly. You know,
Absolutely.
so, but,
so there you are now. And then you went and you were you fucking have quite the story. I mean, almost up into like almost famous. A lot of almost famous.
multiple times. My original intent. So I had the guys from KGR Sports Radio on. I had athletes on. I had Coach Bender from the men's basketball team at UW on. Had Reggie Rogers, you know, a UW legend and NFL player.
Yeah.
I just had, you know me, dude. I'm not afraid to talk to anybody, right? I walk
I've
up to
always
Michael
admired
Jordan,
that,
like,
yeah.
"What's up, man?" You know.
Yeah.
And so I was like I was at work with the utility company, and I go outside, and this big brother standing by his car, and he's busting off, and there's a laundromat right there. And I looked at him, I said, "Hey, man, what NFL team did you play for?" He just looks at me,
Right.
and smiles, and goes, "What makes you think I played for an NFL team?" I said, "Because any brother as big as you that didn't wasted his fucking life."
Oh, yeah.
And then he-
Mix all chips to the center. Yeah. All in.
Go for it.
Buying a Cadillac, getting my hands broke.
If I get hurt on the clock, it's L and I. So,
That's right.
It's a win-win.
Let's be absolutely real though. Like when you see people that were in the NFL,
They look different.
they
Oh,
are
they
a different,
Yeah.
looking
Oh,
human being.
bro,
They're
Reggie
like
Rogers,
They are.
even out of commission. Like you could just tell. Like
you're like you are
So-
terrifying. You are a gladiator battle
So-
demon.
Yeah.
you guys remember
Yeah.
Chad Eaton, the middle linebacker, played with the
Yeah.
Patriots.
Yeah,
and
I remember the name.
Seahawks. Well, he and
Yeah.
I got to be friends during that scene when I
Yeah,
was partying
yeah.
and all. And I had my motorcycle at 2000 Big Dog Wolf. Oh, I missed that. But we're hanging out at the Knock Knock, and his woman, so freaking fine. And we're hanging out, and he just looked at me. He says, "You know what, Nikki?" He says, "I've met a lot of people," he says, "but I've never met anybody as fucking crazy as you."
Right?
Really? I'm like, well, you know, I don't see it, but okay. But, you know, it's just.
And for a guy playing in the NFL to say that, I'm just saying,
Well,
they knew some crazy people.
Well, real quick. So I moved up here in '88, and I auditioned to be a student for Maestro David Kyle, who taught Layne and Jeff Tate and all these guys how to sing. And I went over there, and everybody
Was this after the time you spent in Southern California? Because I think I remember hearing
Yeah,
some
tell us.
stories.
Okay,
No, I didn't.
take it from the top. Like where?
No?
Where did?
Oh, it might
It
have
was
been.
Arizona. It was
Yeah,
Arizona. I went
okay,
back to
yeah,
Arizona.
Where did Nick come from? Where?
Yeah.
Like
So-
tell us
what-
about the birth of a legend here.
Yeah.
Okay, so Billy Wayne Hall, the bastard son of a wonderful woman in Virginia, whose father claimed him when he was 5 and gave him his last name Costello, which is a Native American name, the Mattaponi tribe in King William County, Virginia.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. That's why I got all the native work done. by
Yeah, yeah.
Gilbert and,
No, I always
Ryan.
knew you had that in your blood, but I didn't know.
Also got African. I got every damn West Coast country in Africa.
No wonder I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I tell people. I tell people I'm part black. I'm just not allowed to show it in public.
Right.
Like, it's 8%, and trust me, it's a full 8%. But I just growing up, man, like everything was California, you know, Van Halen, and I wanted to be a singer. All I've ever wanted to be was a famous rock singer. At least I used to, and I
Yeah.
wanted to be famous. So I was just asking my mom. She worked for Philip Morris there in Richmond, and I was like, Mama, does Philip Morris have a place out in California? No, no, honey, they don't. So she knew when I was 15 that like he's gone as soon as he can.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, some shit happened one night in Richmond, and I just decided after the cops pulled their guns out of my face that, man, I might have been born here, but fuck all if I'm going to die here.
Right.
And so I put my thumb out and I hitched across the country, and I ended up in LA for a little bit. And I realized that LA is the devil's playground. Hollywood is just, you can smell the fucking evil. I was naive back then, but thinking back, I'm like, yeah,
No, I mean,
I spent
you're
9
on to
days.
something there.
I spent 9 days. I tell people, I'm like, look, man, I slept on the beaches of Southern California. I was homeless. I got guys in Venice. It's funny, the bums you see in the videos and shit all the time.
Right.
And then my buddy says, hey, Nikki, let's go check out Phoenix. And if we don't like it, we'll come back. So
Yeah.
fell in love with Phoenix. Dude, Phoenix in the late 80s. Oh my God, man. It was just, but anyhow, I kicked around there. I went and worked as a roofer helper for a week, got a check. A friend of mine, Jay, now this is funny because Jay was in school in Phoenix with fucking Ice Cube
Holy shit.
at PTI, Phoenix Technical Institute or whatever.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, dude, because I didn't know about it until Ice Cube was on with Joe Rogan and he talked about it and he said,
Oh,
when he was
wow.
there, and I was like, hey, hold the fucking phone. That my friend Jay was there. at the
Right,
same time.
yeah.
They were probably in fucking class together. dude.
Yeah.
But anyhow, Jay's like, all his money that he got from his mom, his parents were like rich construction owners up in Alaska. He had blown all the money on blow. You
Yeah.
probably can't relate to this, but
Oh.
he had blown all the
Wait,
money.
hold on. Somebody blew all their money on drugs?
I know, crazy as it seems.
Fucking
It-
devil.
We tried to warn us, but
did.
you know.
He
He's like,
did.
and him
Give
and
it
his
to me,
girlfriend,
baby.
they're stressing like, Nikki, we're gonna get kicked out of our apartment, and my mom's coming down. I don't know what to tell her about the money, and I'm fucked. And I went and I worked as a roofer. I got a $120 paycheck. I came over and I bought a pack of cigarettes, and I took the $110 and said, here, go buy a teener. We bought a teener of fucking yayo. We chopped it into fucking 7 fucking quarters.
Yeah.
Fucking sold it for 25 a piece. Took $50, bought some groceries so we had food in the fucking house.
Yeah.
Turned it again. Now the guy we were buying it from originally, his name was Stewart. He drove a fucking Excalibur. So, just stuck
yeah.
out like a thumb, like,
Right.
hey, cops, DA, look at me.
Yeah.
This motherfucker, he had cameras at his door. He had a plaque when you walked in. I'll try to keep all these stories short.
No, man. We're here for this.
We are. We are.
This is what the fuck we're doing.
Work the goods.
Yeah.
So this guy, you'd walk into his townhouse, and this is over in Phoenix. We were staying in the Bay Club apartments, and he was just about a quarter mile or so away from us in his fucking townhouse. You walk in, the dude's got a huge framed fucking gold album, and it says Live Aid. And it's like, thank you for contributing $100,000 to Live Aid, signed by Bob Geldof and all those
Holy
guys.
shit.
So this guy, Stewart, was one of the dudes that put the money up to help get that show off the ground.
One of the
This
most
fucker had-
famous rock concerts in
ever,
history.
dude,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So he has like security cameras. Dude, this
I was actually just last night watching a Highwayman. It was Farm Aid, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. Like, yeah. Like,
There was some AIDS, some people.
yeah, that was fucking had some shit. Yeah.
And this guy Stewart, I mean, just for reference. So we were young kids, man. I was at this time I just turned 20. I turned 20 in February of 87, so this is the summer of 87. This guy Stewart, man, older dude, all, but he would fucking take an ounce of fucking yayo, throw it in a mason jar, and just cook it, and just rock up a fucking ounce, dude,
Yeah.
and just roll this. And just roll this. It's like, I was just like, I just think about that shit all the time. Of like the people I was around, and was just like exposed. But anyhow, me and my little hustling ass, I'm totally antisocial, so I never speak to anyone.
Were you selling
Right.
drugs?
No,
Trying to?
no,
The statutes of limitations. Speaking about being on time,
we're hoping.
I was never so late as when I sold meth.
Oh yeah. Well, you've got a lot of latitude.
Yeah, I'm 5 minutes. I'm 5 minutes away in the other 5 blocks away in the other city.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meth will meth your clock up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say. It'll meth you up. So we turned that $110 in 14 months. We went from living in that apartment to moving to a private townhouse up off of Thunderbird and just off the I-17. And that story will come back because there's a Zia Records right around the corner from where we were living that'll come and play
Sure.
later. we lived in that private townhouse. Our real estate lady just so happened to be having an affair with the head of the DEA in Phoenix at the time. His wife was working in the cubicle at the real estate office right next to her.
Oh,
I
wow.
won't name the place because I don't want. I mean,
Right.
It's been a long time, and maybe but
Yeah.
just for the sake of people's marriages and all. But anyhow, we turned that $110, me going out just hustling, talking to people, and it was the rocker scene of the '80s.
Yeah.
Heavy metal was
Oh, yeah.
still the dog. And
Yeah.
we went and we did the math. We made about 450,000
Yeah.
in 14 months.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds about right.
And I went and I did the math on it to see what it'd be. It's about $1.25 million today.
Yeah.
Just two 20-year-old kids just fucking around,
Yeah.
And
That's usually how it goes, man.
yeah,
Like,
man.
well,
I mean,
if you're not like, in some kind of crime organization,
well, here's
I've
the
watched,
thing.
dude, I've watched people like build large fucking scale drug operations and then just get whopped
Yeah, well,
so many
here's-
times.
So
in my
here's
life.
Yeah.
what happened. So here's what happened. I get out of jail remember the TJ was having the affair with the head of DA. This kid comes around and this guy Jay is singing for my friend Jay's band, and I ended up singing for Jay's band years later here in Seattle. But anyhow, everything's connected. This kid comes around, Tracy. I'll just name his first name, but his uncle was
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And so we got introduced because we were still rocking, dude. We're going between this hang around for and then the guy Stewart, right? And they're competing for our business because we're just rocking, dude. We're just turning it over.
Yeah.
We're no fronts, man. I'm like straight business. Like,
Yeah.
we ain't fronting shit. Like, you pay cash. And all of a sudden we meet this kid. He's like, "Oh yeah, my uncle can help you out." We get down there. Now we start getting fucking Carlos Escobar shit.
Well, and the price gets better.
Oh, immensely.
Because
The
you've jumped
quality,
up the chain of
the
command.
Yeah.
quality
Yeah.
and the price. And all of
Yeah.
a sudden we're just like quarter pound on fucking Thursday, boom, back Friday with another,
Yeah.
back Friday night with another, back Saturday with another. We're just rocking, and he finally to the point where he's like, "Do you guys just want me to give you a kilo and you can pay?" We're like, "No.
That's too much.
No,
What are
I
you
think-
talking about?
Yeah.
We would
Because I don't
rather
wanna
do
be
38
responsible.
fucking deals, a
I'd-
complete conspiracy.
I'd rather you
Yeah.
bring me just 4 ounces at a time and
Yeah.
make sure that
'Cause you don't
we
wanna
got
get
the cash
murdered.
covered. Well, not only that, but if something happens and we lose it, now I'm into you for a fucking no, man.
Yeah.
But you know what happened is I ingratiated myself to both of those organizations so much so that they realized that I was fattening their pockets. So I kind of had an untouchable status for a little while.
Yeah.
Where people knew, yeah.
Well, and
see
because
that
you
lump?
wouldn't take fronts,
It
they
was-
respect someone who doesn't put themselves in harm's way that way.
So we're like, they see the little pretty boy over there, like, don't fuck with him because he's like, that's our money. You stick in your hand in our pocket. And we're dealing and all of a sudden our friend, that guy Jay, he goes and fucking tries to make a deal undercover, fucking or narc, whatever for.
Mhm.
And so the DA pops him. So I get a call from my partner. He's staying at a hotel with his gal because they're sick of all the fucking shit going on at the townhouse all the time. And he says, "Flush everything," and blah, blah, blah. No, okay. And then I get a call from my real estate lady. She's like, "Nikki, what's happening?" And I told her. She's like, "Yeah, he's, Dick's asking me why my name's on a piece of paper, blah, blah, blah with the numbers." I was like, "Well, that was the $70 we loaned you for groceries. You told us that you wanted us to write it down so we pay it back." I go, "We told you we didn't want it back." She goes, "I know, but I told him that, but he's wondering why I'm in." I said, "Well, you are a real estate lady." And I kind of made some statements like I had a 44 man. I'm like, "I'm not going to prison. So if I see DEA rolling down the street, I'm going out in a blaze of glory." And I said, "If they do happen to take me in custody," I said, "my first call ain't going to be to a lawyer. It's going to be to fucking the real estate company there. And I'm going to ask for his wife." Fucking call waiting. Click. She's like, calls me back a few minutes later. "Oh my God, he's furious." But anyhow, we were told basically, pack your shit, get the fuck out of Arizona and don't come back. I said, "We will do the first two, but he can go fuck himself on the last one."
Right.
I'm like, "I'll come back to Arizona whenever I fucking feel."
Yeah.
So I end up coming up here to Seattle. And, of course, when you make all that money, you think, "Oh, well, you guys must have had plenty of class." No, we spend every fucking.
No, man, you spend
Yeah.
it as fast as you make it. We were talking about that shit.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, like fucking.
last couple of days, I'm coming off of because I like to do meth. I didn't like to do the coke, and that was a great thing because I was getting the meth from and I was always spun and you give Nikki a list of names and numbers after 4 days of being awake, and I was the last motherfucker you wanted to see on your front porch. I was not the same person.
Sure.
Right.
And I'm not proud of that shit.
No.
It's not bragging. It's just,
Well, I mean,
what
that
it
shit
is.
just fucks people up.
Right.
Just is what it is.
Yeah.
But anyhow, the last couple of days, I'm trying to clean out and everything, and so I'm hanging out with these guys, and we go out to the desert. Now, during this time, this is September of '88. All of these rash of robberies at First Interstate banks are happening.
Oh, is this up here?
No, this is
No.
This is down in Maricopa, and some dude's robbing fucking all the First Interstate banks. And anyhow, we're out in the desert, and I forget the dude's name, but this other guy, Tim, is a friend of his. And so we're mutual friends. He's like, let's go out in the desert and shoot, Nikki. I'm like, all right. So we go out there, and he's bringing out the Mac and and we're just lighting the desert up, right?
Yeah.
Taking Polaroids and shit.
Yeah.
I get up to Seattle, and I don't know, 2 months later, Tim fucking calls, says, Nikki, do you remember that guy we were in the desert shooting with? I go, yeah. He goes, that's the First Interstate bank robber.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
yeah.
My fingerprints are all over.
Small world.
This motherfucker right here made all the difference in the world. You can't do that nowadays. It's just not a thing anymore. Like I don't see people on the freeways hitchhiking anymore.
Right.
Back in the day, in the 80s, you'd see it all the time.
Yeah.
How young people fucking traverse the
Well, and
country.
it's funny because I was just telling my daughter that shit the other day. I was like, she was like, how were you all over the place? Because as a runaway, I was up and down the I-5 corridor.
Right.
Yeah.
From fucking Bellingham to fucking Seattle, right? I would fuck around and make it hot, bop some people for their drugs, fucking steal some money from this fucking
I
person.
didn't recognize you at first because I'm looking and I'm just like, I knew a guy named Thorne worked on my show and you kind of looks like him, but I'm like, but fuck, this dude's way bigger.
Well, and Thorne was a kid back then.
I was
He was
when I
20 some fucking
Yeah.
25 years ago.
Yeah, when I was up
Because
there-
I met him even after that, and he was young and skinny back then.
Yeah, dude, that was when I was 13, 14, 15, right? I was up and down the I-5 corridor. And my daughter was like, how did you do that? I was like, man, I was hitchhiking.
Oh, when I was in the Army, I would hitchhike sometimes back from shows, from
It's
from
just what
Fort
you
Ord
did.
to San Francisco or to Oakland or wherever the fucking concert was. Yeah.
It's just what you did.
Yeah,
it was
from Phoenix out to California. I mean, the Monsters of Rock, the very first one, we got tickets, and I was so fucking lucky.
Yeah, those were
about
fun
that.
times, man.
Bro, that Metallica when they came on at the LA Coliseum.
I saw that one in San Francisco.
Bro, you go
And
look up the
Metallica's
phone.
hometown.
It was like the day the music changed.
Yes.
When all the fucking Aqua, Van Halen,
And all that shit.
walked away and this whole front turned
Well, you know,
black.
a documentary out now about the grunge, about how grunge, like when Nirvana came on,
Oh, yeah.
Teen Spirit, how
That
it
was a
just
whole nother
pretty much
wave,
put the
man.
glam, the metal,
Oh.
see, just kind of it just shifted.
Yeah.
I gotta
And,
take
a lot of them aren't happy about it either. Spending money like they was never going to stop.
Yeah.
And then it did.
And it stopped.
Yeah, somebody wrote on their guitar, friends don't let friends cut their hair or something, and they were talking about Metallica. It was one of the grunge bands that it was doing unplugged. Right? And they were like, friends don't let friends cut their hair. And literally they did it, and Metallica was in the front row, right? But we have this thing where we have had these clips, and you've probably seen them, where we go back and forth about Seattle, Portland, Seattle. People don't like us because we're from Seattle. They like to tell us all kinds of stuff about who we are as human beings, right?
Right.
Those guys, those are just trolls.
Yeah, but
They just say mean shit to whoever's
Just
in
say
front of them
mean
at the
shit,
moment,
right?
you know,
Totally.
who's in front of them on the internet,
but I had this
not in life.
I had this great interaction with this kid the other day because we did this video about Seattle versus Portland. How it's always kind of fuck you, but at the if the war came, we're gonna have each other's
We're
back.
siblings.
We're siblings,
Yeah.
right? He was like, yeah, well, Nirvana, they came down and they were like, this was where they really cut their teeth and all this stuff. And I was like, I'm gonna tell you something, homie. No real Seattle person's favorite Seattle band is Nirvana.
No.
Ever. It has never been that. It's Alice in Chains or Soundgarden,
Yep.
right? Or Tad or Mother Love
Mother
Bone.
Love Bone.
Right.
Yeah. And
Well,
so-
whatever, man.
I got
Nirvana's
stories on
dope.
that.
And I said, and plus we have Jimi Hendrix and the Sonics.
Yes.
And he goes, He goes, the Sonics aren't even there anymore. And I was like, the Sonics, the fucking garage band that started punk rock, dog, right? And then I was like, look, bro, listen, because his name was Debatable Shrimp, like Detlef Shrimp, right? I was like, I'm going to assume by your name that you understand that Band of Horses is also from Seattle. I was like, I'll give you the Shins. I'll give you the Shins. I'll give you Decemberists. I'll even give you Modest Mouse.
Right.
All of which, by the way, are pouty little sibling music.
They are.
All right.
I just mentioned Modest Mouse because the lead singer used to get his hair cut by my ex-wife.
Sure.
What about Reggie Watts, bro?
Reggie, dude.
Yeah.
What about Lindsey fucking Jones?
So the story on Reggie, dude. So I'm married to the woman. She's working at Counterbalance Barbershop. You know where Counterbalance is up there on top of Queen Anne, right there by the dry cleaner. It's right where the steps go up, right? From Gaylor and fucking Queen Anne.
Yeah.
Anyhow, my ex-wife worked there, and she would cut the hair. I go walking out one day because I would come up there to see her, whatever. And there's what's that pizza joint right there? That 5 Point or not?
You mean
Olympic Pizza? Was it Olympic?
It's right next to the five spot.
The 5 Spot, yes.
Okay.
So anyhow, I'm walking towards the 5 Spot, and here comes fucking Reggie, and I'm doing
just all blown out.
Yes,
yeah.
Here's this big fro, and I'm doing the Waterboys at the time, and Reggie looks at me.
Shout out to fucking Reggie.
Dude, I know.
Hell yeah.
Reggie made it. Like,
I would love
he's
to
on
get him
Comedy
on the show.
Central and shit. I was like, yeah, I know that, brother.
Yeah.
But here was the coolest thing, man, is Reggie's walking out, and he's like, he looks at me, and he smiles, and he points at me, he goes, I know you, and I go, I know you.
Right. Yeah.
I go, you're Reggie Watts. And he goes, yeah. He goes, you're Saint Nick.
Nice.
I was like, really? And it hit me at that moment. I'm like, yeah, public access is the real shit here in Seattle.
It
Like,
was really the shit.
People, it was crazy. Paul and I would go shopping at Christmas at Westlake, man, and this kid comes over they're in this store, and he looked exactly like what we pictured our fans to look like. He just, he looked like there was probably a fucking hook and a couple of chromosomes. And he looks, he goes, I know you guys are the Waterboys, man.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, it's funny because so back to my story, if I can.
Right.
Got up here and I kicked around for a little bit, broke his shit, and anyhow I was like, I'm gonna go meet Maestro Kyle and see if I can be a student, just see. And some people said, Nikki, he's so overwhelmed with kind of like you with people wanting work. He takes about 1 out of every 100 people. And I was like, I was thinking that's extreme, but I found out later, no, that's literally
That was conservative.
That was conservative. Like so many people, like I guess Stevie Nicks and David Lee Roth. So many people were getting lessons from him because he was a world class of opera singer at one time. And and I walk in, the guy.
What was his name?
David Kyle, Maestro David Kyle. He's a rotund man.
Was he in West Seattle?
Yes, he was in Alki. He was on Alki.
I knew a guy who got vocal lessons from him.
Yeah.
Pat Brown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So understand, I'm broke as shit. Like, you think all that money we made, like, no, we came up to Seattle. I had nothing left from all of that. But anyhow, they said, don't be disappointed if he turns you down, Nikki. I'm like, okay, well, I know I can sing. That was the first thing. Like all this, the TV show, all this stuff, that was just, like I told people, that was methadone for a heroin addict. I'm like, the TV show was just something for me to give me some limelight, because really what I wanted to be was holding a microphone on stage and rock.
You have frontman energy.
I go over there and I said, I remember he had long, like gray and white hair, long ponytail went down all the way to his ass. He was a rotund man and he had his glasses. And he kind of looked like a modern day Ben Franklin almost, And but he sat down, and he was gay, I was like, I knew that, everybody knew that. I was like, but nobody gave a fuck,
Right?
And so I sat. He goes, sit down on the bench next to me, and I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be fun. This is a reach over, like, no. He says, I want you to sing along with the scales. And so we just started going down the piano, la 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 la. And he'd asked me, do you have any musical training? And I said, yeah, I play saxophone. And I said, my dad's a gospel musician, has a gospel group, and I've sang in the church. And, I sang for a band at a Battle of the Bands at my high school a year before I hitchhiked out here to the West Coast. He says, okay. So he sits down and starts playing the scales, and he listens to me. And I told him when I got there, I was like, I just want to be as good as Jeff Tate. Because Queensryche was the shit at that time.
And Jeff Tate could sing.
Oh yeah,
Jeff
man.
Tate,
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was a lofty goal.
Like 5. Well,
right.
That was my. But that
No, I dig
that's
it.
what I do,
Shoot
though,
for the
man. It's like,
stars.
right. I shoot for the stars, and maybe I land on the moon.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so, or I'm a satellite.
Yeah, right.
But I sat down and the true story, man. And I always tell people, I'm like,
Also, another fucking Seattle band, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Bellevue, if you want to be
Yeah.
specific,
Well,
but
who gives
yeah.
a fuck, right?
But and like one of my best friends that I made up here, Shannon, he actually lived right next door to, I think, Chris DeGarmo growing up. They went to school and all. I know a lot of people that went, like a guy that was Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses is fucking
From here,
Seattle
yeah,
boy.
yeah.
You know, a guy when I worked under the table at this moving company, my boss went to school with him. He's like, yeah, he's such a fucking dork. Like, you know,
Duff is fucking
he's
done it. Yeah, he's
turned out to
He's
be
a cool
fucking
dude. He's
really
one of
cool
the
dude.
yeah.
Yeah, he
elder
really is.
statesman of rock, and he looks
yes.
great. And he
Yes.
fucking is.
And his daughter's, I guess, spark plug. I guess she's in her own right. She's a pretty talented
Oh, wow.
artist. So, anyhow, I sat down and Maestro Kyle looks at me. He says, "Nikki," he goes, "Son, when you came here, you told me you wanted to be as good as Jeff Tate." He says, "And I can tell you, when Jeff Tate sat down with me, he was nowhere near as good a singer as you are now." He says, "Son, by the time I'm done with you, you'll be better than Jeff Tate." My blood starts pumping, you know, I'm flushing here and I'm like, and he says, "Son, I would love to have you as a student." He says, "Nikki, I think I could do wonders with you." He says, "Son, I usually tell my students after the first 5 or 6 lessons, anyone that's ever heard them sing before will hear a remarkable difference." He says, "Son, you've already got a beautiful voice and an incredible ear." He goes, "You are pitch perfect on every note." He says, "I can already tell what you're doing, what needs to work on." He says, "And I can fix that in 2 or 3 lessons." He says, 2 or 3 lessons, everybody that's ever heard you is going to hear a major difference. I was like, he says, so, and here's where the other shoe dropped.
Here's the rub.
So I'm like, oh wow, I'm like, my head's spinning. Do you know when you get lightheaded because you're like, is this really fucking happening? Like Maestro David Kyle is accepting me as a student, and he says, because my time is so valuable, I have to charge students up front. So I always charge students a 1 hour a week, $60 a lesson, and I do the first 6 lessons because I want to make sure you're committed. So at least a month and a half of lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And I have 4 books that are $10 each that I ask students to buy at the inception. So basically you're looking at $400 up front to sit down and become a student.
Right.
You know what $400 was to me in 1988?
Right. Yeah, in 88. Yeah.
You know, it might as well have been $4,000. Right?
Yeah.
So my heart sank and I was just like, I don't have $400, Maestro. And he's like, son, that's okay. He says, you have a talent. Go get lessons from someone you can't afford, and they're going to teach you the breathing. He goes, they'll teach you how to breathe and how to, and that's what he was right. It was just the breathing. And, you know, I did that. But so time goes on. So we're, I don't know, I'm going to National Broadcasting School. This has got me even before the Waterboys, man. I went to National Broadcasting School. You may remember.
You went to National Broadcasting School?
Yes, right down there at 4th and Vine, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah. I was one of those guys. Yeah, I remember.
Well, that was down when all of that.
Way back.
Yeah, but all the news used to be right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
KJR and
Como.
Well, my
when it was all 1-story, 2-story, 3-story buildings.
Right.
Yeah.
So my friend Jay that I came up here with, my partner, you know, in Arizona, I came up here, his sister, Julia,
even the PI was fucking down.
well, his sister Julia worked in the sales department for Cairo Radio.
Yeah.
So, you know, so I was already introduced to people in the industry when I first moved up here. But anyhow, I'm going to broadcasting school, and I'm just kicking around Seattle. You know, my first job was at Musicland at 3rd and Pike, which is now Starbucks. You remember Musicland? Okay.
So, yeah.
So I got a job because I had worked at Sam Goody's in Virginia in high school, so I had experience in
Sam Goody's.
And I also worked at the one in Delamo Mall down in Torrance, California. So even when I was homeless, I had jobs. I was always getting after it, man. I was like, I didn't want anybody to give me shit. I was like, I'll get it.
Just
give me a chance. So I'm working at Musicland, and Patrick, big bushy red hair, super cool dude. I saw him years later, but anyhow, he was my assistant manager. And I'm standing there, I'm telling him I'm a singer and all, you know, I got my long hair, I'm from Phoenix and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I'm first couple of days working there, and all of a sudden this guy walks in with a long leather duster and this hot jet black haired chick on his arm. And Patrick goes, oh, this is my best friend, Andy. He goes, Andy, come here. I want you to meet this kid, it's Nicky. He just moved up here from Phoenix. And he goes, my friend Andy here, he's the lead singer for a band called Mother Love.
Yeah.
And
Rest
I
in
go,
peace, Andrew.
and Andy and I started
The
talking.
love child.
Yeah, and he's Landrew. And he says, so you're from Phoenix? Yeah, and you're a singer, huh? I go, yeah. He goes, I was like, yeah, so if you know any bands looking for one, let me know. He goes, yeah, I'll keep my ear out, brother. And he was so cool. He was just a
Mhm.
genuinely sweet
Everybody
human
loved
being.
him.
Yeah.
Dude, such
You
a
couldn't
good dude.
find a negative word about him.
Such a good dude.
Yeah.
Mike Starr from Alice too, man. My heart breaks every time I think about these guys because I got to be their friend. They befriended me really.
Mhm.
They took me in as like, and it wasn't like a, oh, we got to test you. And it was just immediate. Like they were just like, right on, bro. Welcome, man. You know,
Yeah.
Sure.
and welcome to our circle. And
Compared to a lot of other
they just
cities
took
like
me in.
LA, it was really genuine
Yeah.
here.
Oh, dude, trust
It
me.
was
I
just
know it
it
was
was just a
night and
batch of
day.
young people who
It
loved
was
music.
night and
You know?
day, and it really was. And so Andy was like one of the first musical friends that I made up here. And so, like I said, time goes on, and I'm kicking around, and a band called Dangerous Toys was from Texas. They had that song "Teasin' Pleasin'," and
Mm.
I love their album. They're just rock and roll, just straight driving, hard rock, and kind of bluesy rock music. And I was into them. So I'm like, I think it was the Hollywood Underground. I was singing with this guy, what's his name? Parker, Frank Parker. Frank Parker had a band together over in West Seattle, and I went and sang for him for a little while, and it was called Moniker.
Mm.
And I was just kicking around with them, and one night we decided to go down to Pioneer Square to see a show, and some of his friends were in this band called Black is Black, which I still think was one of the best bands I ever saw here.
Mm.
But Black is Black, they're just a bunch of rich boys from the fucking islands and shit, from Bainbridge, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyhow, they were fascinating because they would, in the middle of their set, they would all get up and switch instruments and play, and they
Oh wow.
That's
incredible.
cool.
They're
the
like music
guitarist was-
school kids.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely,
yeah,
dude. And I was just realizing, like, I'm in the real shit here. Like,
Yeah.
this ain't amateur.
Oh, and like music is life here.
Yeah.
bro,
If
and
you're
I
in the
found
music,
out
it was
quick.
music was
I
life.
found out
His
quick.
life was life. I mean, you got to do
These
something 9 months out of the fucking
This
year.
is
You know?
Well,
so my thing was I walked into the Keg over in Westwood Village, and it was open mic.
Rest in peace to the Keg.
Yeah, right. Right. I was like, I'm bringing up all these old. I walk up, I get on the mic, and
Can't say that I'm missing it.
that's how I met
Can't
Frank
say
Parker and those guys.
about
I was up there, was the open mic, and I just go up there and I'm like, you guys want to do Ice Cream Man by Van Halen? And
Hell yeah.
And so I sing Ice Cream Man, and these guys walk up to me and they're like, hey man, we got a band, we need a singer. And that was Frank Parker and his bass player, whatever. Anyhow, I was like, sure. So then, hanging out with them, we go to the Hollywood. We're hanging out. We're going to see Black is Black play with a band called, I think, Dead Horses, and I forget the other one. But I'm just getting introduced to the music scene like full blown here now. And these guys come walking in, and there's kind of a stir. Everybody's like, hey, what's up, fellas? And all of a sudden, Frank goes, Nikki, come here, man. I want to introduce you to the friends of mine. He goes, this is Jerry, and this is Layne, and this is Mike, and this is Sean, right?
Yeah.
He goes, they got a band called Alice in Chains. And I'm like, oh, all right, how you doing? And I meet the guys. And they're like, Nikki's our new singer, man. Like, oh, right on, you found a singer?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's fucking great, man. He's fucking, you guys got to hear him. He's really, and I'm like, right on, cool, man.
Yeah.
And I don't think nothing of it. It's just like I've met a lot of musicians, a lot of bands. I hung out on Sunset Strip, met fucking tons of fucking bands.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I went to high
I'm
school with Jerry Cantrell.
Jerry's such a, and he's another
We
guy.
had music class.
I hear
together.
people talk shit like I'm like, Jerry Cantrell's one of the sweetest human beings I ever had the fortune of, and I got a story about him. Time goes on. I'm going to broadcasting school. Dangerous Toys is coming to town in December. However, I'm dating this chick from Everett. She and her girlfriend go down to Pioneer Square one night. I think I'd gone to school that night. Yeah, I'd gone to school that night. One of my classmates had some Humboldt weed that just arrived, so I got
There you
that.
go.
And I come home, I had my little motor Honda Interceptor 250, and I come home. And I got the weed and all, and sleeping on a couch in Pigeon Hill off of like Andover and 22nd. You guys remember Patrick Cornell, an artist? They called him Slayer, but he used to draw shit. Like, I think he drew some stuff for The Accused, Martha Splatterhead. He drew some shit for them. But
Well, if I don't know him, I know his art.
Pat was letting me, like, he and I were friends, and he let me sleep on his couch and all. And so I told the girl I'm dating, hey, I'll leave the door unlocked and come on in. And so about 2:30 or so, I hear like noise outside, and I'm on the couch. I'm kind of half asleep, half awake. All of a sudden, the door opens up, and I hear this guy go, "Oh, this Nikki? Yeah, I know this Nikki. Fuck, everybody knows this Nikki." And
Right.
I wake up and look, and it's Jerry Cantrell, and I'm like, "Oh, what's up, Jerry?" He's like, "Not much, Nikki. What are you doing?" I goes, "How you doing, bro?" And I'm like, "I'm good, man." He goes, "I met your lady's friend here." He's like, "They said they want to come party." I was like, right on.
Yeah.
He goes, he had a fucking case of beer. I guess we call it, what do they call up here? Half rack? Is it-
Half rack.
Yeah,
Half rack, right?
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Rack and half rack.
Half, yeah. So he's like, I got a rack, half rack. I was like, all right, fuck. And he goes, you want a drink? I said, yeah, let me wake up. I said, I got some Humboldt. You want to smoke? He goes, fuck yeah. So we sat there and we're hanging out. 3 o'clock in the morning, I slapped Dangerous Toys fucking tape in. So at that time, I'm into the cult, Dangerous Toys. And of course, I like the glam metal bands too. But I'm like, but that's my shit, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so-
Ian Asbury is kind of.
He's a dick. My ex-wife had down in Vegas.
I mean, he's a
He's a
great.
great front man, great
Yeah.
singer,
Yeah.
but
He's this tall too. Right?
Oh yeah,
You'd be a
he's
dick if
arrogant
you're
little
4
dick.
foot tall.
I don't know if you remember the Metallica show, August 29th and 30th at fucking Key Arena when Metallica filmed those shows. Ian, the cult opened for him, and I think first night or second, I think it's second night, he fucking stormed off the stage because people were throwing shit at him.
Oh, wow.
He always reminded me of like a little version of Stevie, the Fans Ant. Like,
Yeah,
Doesn't he? Like, he's just like a
the
little-
big and the long black hair, yeah, exactly. So Jerry and I are hanging out, and I'm just singing Dangerous Toys album, and Jerry looks at me and he goes, "Nicky, are you in a band?" And I go, "No, brother, but I'm looking for one." He goes, "Well, I'm gonna keep my ears open, man." So so this is like September, maybe October. September's October of '88, or I'm sorry, '89.
oh, they're all about the
So I've been in Seattle now for a year. I've been in Seattle for about a year,
Mhm.
and because I got here in mid-October of '88, and I can say that I love the summer of Seattle, but Seattle winters are an acquired taste.
Yeah.
Like
Seattle
you don't
summers
just
are dope.
move.
Yeah.
You don't move.
There's
to-
no better place on the planet than
Well-
Seattle in the fucking summer.
Well, the
Period.
thing I did is I came here in mid-October, which was probably good because I got the dose of like what it's really like.
Sure.
And
Real
then
shit.
I got
Yeah,
the
yeah.
payoff in the
You got
summer.
great pilled.
Yeah, bro. But I was like, yeah, fuck it. And I, the little drug addict in me was missing the meth and the sun and the heat of Arizona.
The meth and the sun.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, meth and sun do go together.
And this all comes, yes,
I
yes.
know the heat,
Yes,
the meth and
yes.
the sun.
There's something about tweaking for fucking 8
Going
days
through the
in
motions
Arizona
of the heat,
sun,
yeah.
especially when you're out in the desert. So Dangerous Toys, I'm singing their album, and Jerry's just like watching me. He's like, "Yeah, you need to be in a band, dude." So a couple months later, it's the end of December, like late December. They come to town and they play the Paramount with LA Guns. And I'll never forget this night because you walk to Paramount and they had the little beer section bar right
Sure.
there, and you had the general admission doors, and then you had this one door to the right there that was the VIP door. And I'm standing there having a beer, before the show. I got a general admission. VIP door swings open, and Jerry's fucking grabbing the guitar player from Dangerous Toys, and he's pointing at me.
Yeah.
He drags him over, and he goes, "This is my friend I was telling you about." He's like, "You got to hear this guy sing your shit, dude. It's fucking amazing." And I'm like, and Jerry goes, "Nicky, you know who this is?" And I go, "Yeah, you're Danny from Dangerous Toys." Now he had that. Oh, you know who I am. Musicians, everybody already, we love it when people like know who we are because we get
Sure.
that little fame bubble, And he's like, I go, "Yeah, you're the guitar player." I go, "You're Danny, guitarist for Dangerous Toys." And he's like, "Oh, wow, you know who we are?" I go, "Yeah, dude, I love your guys' fucking album, man. You guys rock." He's like, "Yeah, Jerry said you're pretty good." Never forget this. Jerry spun him and goes, "The fuck I did." He goes, "This fucking guy's incredible, man." And he turns on me. He goes, "Nicky, you're going to be famous someday, brother." He goes, "Brother, you've got the fucking voice. You've got the look. You've got fucking all of it, dude. You're going to be famous someday."
Right.
And I was like, wow, cool, thanks. And anyhow, he's like, "Well, we got to go back." And also they leave. Well, I noticed this guy standing over by the door with long blonde hair. And you may remember another band that's from the Seattle area, Metal Church.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I loved Metal Church.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Ton of
here.
bricks.
So
Yeah.
Mike Howe is standing there. He walks up and goes, "Hey, man, what's your name?" I'm like, "Nicky." And he's like, "I'm Mike." I go, "I know you're the lead singer for Metal Church." And he goes, "Oh, you did once again.
Right.
Oh, you know who?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I love you guys." So he's like, "Well, what are you doing, man?" And I go, "I'm just having a beer before the show." And he's like, "Well, fuck, man." He goes, "What do you got? You got a VIP?" I go, "No, I'm just general admission." He goes, "Yeah, well, fuck that. Come with me."
Right.
He goes over to the VIP door and he tells the guy at the door, he's like, "This is Nicky. He's my friend. He's with me."
Yeah.
Opens the fucking door, takes me down there.
Mhm.
Mother Love Bone, Soundgarden, Heart, Queensryche, fucking just name them, man. Metal Church, Sanctuary. They're all fucking hanging out in the VIP section.
Yeah,
Alice in
yeah.
Chains, everybody is hanging out in fucking VIP section, right?
Yeah.
And this is a few days before I got on a fucking plane and went back to Phoenix. And I'm going to tell you why I don't regret that in a moment. But I walked down there and I realized, and Mike's like, "Hey, everybody, this is Nicky." And people like, "Oh, yeah, we know him." I mean, all these fucking Jeff Tate's like, "Hey, what's up, man? How you been?" And I'm like, "Good, Jeff. Good to see you again." And Mike's like, "You know all these guys?" I'm like, "Yeah, kind of." I'm like, everybody's just like, "Hey, Nicky, what's up?" And I'm fucking meeting the girls from Heart and Chris Cornell and all. They're all sitting there. And I'm like, fuck, this is awesome, Like I'm in my fucking element, right? I feel
Right.
like this is where
Well,
I'm.
that was like right before everything blew here.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
You
it was
get it.
like literally
Exactly. Mother
right
Love
here.
Bone was the band
Yep.
everybody was waiting to fuck.
Bone was the
Dude, I
shit.
mean, think about it. That's
Yeah.
Pearl Jam with Andy Wood.
Exactly.
I mean, nothing against Eddie Vedder, but fuck, Andy Wood was a musician.
I mean, their first album is like the first Pearl Jam album is
yeah.
there's a lot of
transition over
Yeah.
like stuff that they didn't get. But
Well,
Bite
I
the
gotta
Apple
say, like
was-
Mother Love Bone blew my doors off the same way Jane's Addiction did.
Sure.
The same way, like they were
That's
rare.
really good.
They sounded, they just,
Yeah.
they were
Did
an
you see that show?
unbiteable sound.
Were you at the Moore for that show?
No.
My first fucking show in Seattle, bro, because I told you I got
Yeah.
here in October of '88, and that must
Yeah.
have been like November, December of '88.
Yeah, I was in California.
It was
In the Army.
It was Soundgarden,
Yeah.
Mother Love Bone, and Jane's Addiction at the Moore.
Jesus
And
Christ.
that's when the
That
that's when
would have
James
been a
filmed that.
fucking
At
good
the
one.
Moore is my favorite
Dude,
venue.
think about
Yeah.
this. My first fucking concert. Jay, he's more the
'Cause
fucking.
Soundgarden's
Jay was the metal
badass,
guy. He's
too.
like, I'm getting out here, man. I can't deal with all these freaks. And I was just like, have fun. I'm fucking staying. Like,
Yeah.
freaks
Oh, my
I wasn't
friends.
missing.
Yeah.
I was like, I love this shit. Are you kidding me? But yeah, my first
And the
exposure.
Moore, literally the Moore is the best venue.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, like, Paramount's great.
Paramount's nice and all, but the
Moore
more.
is fucking.
And that was my first show. And then my second show was we went and saw Queensryche play there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was loving Seattle at first. I mean, trust, it was nothing but love. I'm hanging out with these, the guys in the VIP and all, and it's just like, this is fucking great. And then Mike Starr comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, Nicky," he goes, "what are you doing after the show?" And I go, "I got no plans, bro."
Yeah.
He goes, "We're going to party at the Alice in Chains house over on Military." I was like, "Okay." He's like, so he gave me the address and all. He's like, "You know how to get there?" I was like, "Yeah." Yeah, back in the day, man, we didn't fucking need GPS. You just knew
You had to
where
know how to
shit
get
was.
there.
Yeah, you just
Either
knew
that or
where.
a Thomason guide.
Yeah, or Tom's
Yeah.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
As a bike messenger and car messenger for Seattle for a few years, I was
Yeah.
also hip before the utility job. I'll just say it, Puget Sound Energy.
Yeah.
But before I worked for them, I was a bike messenger and a car messenger. So I have that little feather too that I can say I did one of those jobs with crazy fucking dangerous jobs that very few people can say they did.
It's crazy dangerous.
Yeah, bike messengering in Seattle is
I hung out with when I moved to San Francisco for
Puck.
5 years. No, but I did hang out with bike messengers down there,
Oh, okay.
and that was right at the beginning of the fixed gear craze.
Yeah.
But fixed geared for utility, not for fucking to be cool.
Right.
And so I would ride around with those dudes because they came in my bar, and I would ride fixed gears on those hills. Those San Francisco hills is no fucking
no
joke,
joke.
dude.
Yeah.
But let
No
me
joke,
tell you-
no joke.
But let me tell you, First Hill, Pill Hill,
Yeah.
they called it Pill Hill, and
Yeah.
fucking Capitol Hill. Yeah, that'll test your fucking metal
No
too.
joke, no joke. Coming down
Yeah.
Denny.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah. The best part about being a bike messenger, though, when you made those trips up the hill, was the return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then you just get to fucking just get
Yeah.
down and just, But so Mike says, "Come on over." So I go over there and we're hanging out for a few minutes, and Mike's sitting next to me on the couch and he's just talking to me, kind of picking my brain. So, he goes, "So, Jerry and those guys, man, they really seem to think a lot of you, man. And Jerry's telling me you're a really good singer and all, and blah, blah." And I'm like, "Yeah." And we're just getting into this fucking great conversation, and his phone rings. And I imagine if Sean Kinney ever saw this, he could vouch for it to say, "No, Nicky's telling the truth. It's a true story." Layne and Sean were down in Post Alley around Pike Place Market or thereabouts, drunk off their fucking asses after the show, raising hell, and the cops were coming for him, looking for him. So they called Mike, "Dude, you got to come get us out of here." So Mike's like, "All right, guys, party's got to end. I got to go get my drummer and singer before they get fucking locked up."
Right.
Sure.
And so I'm walking out, and I'm this Honda 250 Interceptor. Now I just got a job with a construction company in Redmond, up on a Gun-Shy Ridge, and I'm a helper. So I'm finally getting some paychecks. I'm gonna be able to pay the 2 or 3 months I'm behind on my bike payment. as I'm walking out, I'm the last one out. Mike grabs my arm. He goes, Nikki, he says, I don't want to sound, he goes, I don't want you to think I'm weird or anything. He says, but I read people's energies, auras. He goes, and bro, he goes, everybody I've talked to says that you're a really fucking nice guy. He goes, and I love your energy, dude. He goes, just something about you tells me you're a fucking good guy. He goes, and that's what we want in the Alice in Chains family. He says, so brother, if you ever need anything, you're always welcome here. Just let us know. Anybody that knows Mike Starr will say, no, that's Mike. That just
Sure.
warm, wonderful human being. And God, I hope he's resting in peace.
I was in jail around the time that he was in jail. We're not going to tell a story. Like, we won't speak ill of the dead, but yeah.
Was he? Well, I don't know what he was like in the throes of that because he wasn't.
He was going through a rough time.
He wasn't in the throes of it when I met him. You know, it's like you guys, man. Like I don't know what you were like in your worst spots because I met you. You were sober.
Yep.
And I met you. You were sober. Yep. So I've only known you guys when you're sober. You've only known me when I was sober. Yep. And I'm glad that I never let you guys see me because if you fucking thought I was an asshole sober, God, you'd have fucking really despised me. But no. So anyhow. I'm like, my head's spinning. I mean, Alice in Chains isn't even famous, but this is what he said as I'm about to leave. And he says, Nikki, our album's getting ready to drop in a few months. Now, this is like the end of December, I think 29th or 30th of December. He says, our album's getting ready to drop in a few months, man. He goes, and I really think we have something, dude. This is facelift.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, I'm just going, right on. I'm being, welcomed into the Alice in Chains family of the circle here. I mean, I already know Jerry and everything,
Right.
but I'm like, this is fucking cool, right? So I go, thank you, brother. I go home. It was I don't think it was that night. I think it was 1 or 2 nights later. I get woken up by the guy that lives upstairs, happens to be the landlord, Mark. He comes down and he goes, Nikki, somebody's messing with your bike. I come outside. These dudes are loading my motorcycle up.
Oh, wow.
Guys, I just got a job. I'm going to pay. I go, I'm getting paid. I'm going to make a payment. Sorry, man. We got, you know how repo people.
Yeah, dog. They don't.
Got it.
It's not their job.
Yeah, it's like, they don't care. And I understand, but I was just like, it's January. It's fucking cold, miserable, raining, and I'm just like, fuck this. So I got a ticket and I'm back to Arizona.
Yeah.
And I had somebody years back say, Nikki, do you ever regret,
you left the zeitgeist.
You left right as this shit was about to pop off, and you had all of these guys fucking like believing in you and thinking you could be, and who knows, I don't want to, like,
who knows?
I can fantasize. After Andy passed, I don't know how the guys went about auditioning singers. I'm not saying that I would have gotten it over Eddie, but I'm saying I would have been at least in the fucking wheelhouse of possibilities. So who knows?
Been in the conversation.
Like what who knows? Like what if kind of shit. Remember those comic books back in the day? What if the Hulk?
Oh yeah, I love that.
I love that. That's one of my favorite.
Right. Yeah. So I always do that. I'm like, I'm doing the Marvel fucking what if thing here. But anyhow, so I'm back in Phoenix. I'm hanging out with friends down there. Of course, I'm back in the dope. I get a call. Hey, Nikki. Jay calls me. Hey, Nikki. Weren't you friends with Andy? Yeah, we're still friends, dude. Just because I'm down here doesn't mean we're not friends. Like, why? What's up? He goes, yeah, he overdosed this morning, dude. Because there's been some bad fucking Mexican brown going around. And he says, yeah, he overdosed and died. And I'm just like, and I looked at my friends in the apartment, townhouse, whatever. They're like, what's wrong, Nikki? And I'm like, my friend Andy Wood just overdosed and died this morning. I hung out with Xana a few years back, and she, we talked about it. She's not a big fan of Eddie's, I can tell you that, because some shit Eddie said on stage one time. But anyhow, I just told her, I was just like, I can't imagine what that must have been like for you to walk in and find him, that.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
It fucked her up. I can tell you that. It really messed her up. And I have a love for Xana, man. She's fucking super chick. But anyhow, I was looking at my friends and they're like, who? And I go, there's a singer from a band called Mother Love Bone. And of course everybody chuckles because, it's a funny name when you first hear it.
Right.
Like nobody knew about it then.
Yeah.
It was one of those bands that
he was known up here.
If you knew it, you were.
And he was known in fucking Japan. Apparently, they're huge in Japan.
Oh, weird.
In Phoenix, it was still the metal scene. It was still the metal.
Well, and the thing about
it
that
was
is
Flotsam and Jetsam and Sacred Reich. Those are the guys.
They're the band's band.
Yep.
right? Like for a long time now, it's like you can't go anywhere without fucking seeing something. But for a long time, Joy Division was that band.
Yes.
Nobody knew who the fuck Joy Division was for years and years and years.
Yeah.
But every fucking band was like literally, if you like 40% of the new wave
Yeah.
in the 80s,
Yes.
it was all derivative of Joy Division, right? Like,
Right, it's true.
you know, the New Romantic, the fucking
Yeah.
all that stuff, like The Cure, the fucking New Order was Joy Division. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
just without
right,
the lead
right.
singer. So Mother Love Bone was like that to what people
what-
call
what the
grunge,
grunge.
but the Seattle
Right.
rock scene,
Right. And they wouldn't have called themselves grunge back then. Funny thing is like I remember putting on the thermals and some board shorts and a t-shirt. I loved my Sub Pop shirt, the one with the guy with the monkey on his back and he's bent over with the guitar and it had all the names of the bands on it. And I used to deliver to Sub Pop all the fucking time. They
Yeah.
were like Second in Virginia, at 1932 Second Avenue. So
Well, it's funny too because with that stuff, like the cut off fucking
Yeah.
BDUs with the thermals and shit, like that was like first of all that was cheap,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Second of all,
It's
cold and wet here.
exactly, exactly. It was the flannel and,
And-
it
and
was
the other
layers.
thing-
It was
the other-
layers.
The other
and
thing
like-
is we wear layers because you're throughout the course of the day.
Yes.
Here, if you're not from Seattle, this
Yes.
one's for you.
Yes.
We wear layers. Don't come here and buy a big puffy coat. You look
No,
ridiculous.
you look stupid.
right. We wear
Put your fucking umbrella away, you pussy.
Right. We wear layers because it gets warmer
Yes,
as the day
goes
progresses, right? Like,
Exactly.
you're doing shit, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It wasn't fashion, it was utility.
So I'm sitting there in Phoenix. 3 days later on KUPD, the rock station there in Phoenix, DJ comes on. He says, sad news out of the Pacific Northwest. Lead singer for the band Mother Love Bone, Andrew Wood, has passed away from a apparent drug overdose. And all my friends at the apartment are looking at me. They're like, dude, you knew this 3 days ago. And they're like, wow, Nikki, you were really, I'm like, yeah. I said,
Oh, because you were down there high just telling all kinds
yeah,
of
yeah, and they're thinking,
yeah.
I'm just, and I told them, I'm like, guys, you guys know I don't fucking lie. I don't make shit up. I go, everything I've experienced has happened. I go, and again, I tell people, if you want to know whether I'm bullshitting or not, ask me to tell you a story that you heard me tell you 5, 10, 20 fucking years ago. It'll never change. That's the way you know when a motherfucker's telling the truth, because the story never changes.
Right.
I'm like, I tell people I can tell these stories because a truthful man never has to fucking worry about
Sure.
the details because they never change.
Well, and a lot of people like us, right? The more mundane the story is, the more likely it's going to be a lie.
Right.
Right.
Right. No,
For real.
I've been very blessed that I've had all these experiences, and somehow or another I've survived through it all. And I tell people, I got a grandson that turned 2 years old today. Man, there was a time when I didn't think I'd ever see my daughter, much less,
So
let me
let's
get to
talk
that.
about
Let me get to that because I'm getting
Tell
to
us
that right now.
about-
I'm coming on this
Yeah.
right now. I'm coming now. So I told the friends, I said, yeah, another band that's going to be coming out of Seattle soon too is my friends in a band called Alice in Chains, and they're like, what? And I go, what's with all the fucked up names of the bands? I'm like, dude, it's Seattle, bro. It's a whole different vibe.
Tad.
But yeah, Tad, a fucking Screaming
Tad,
Trees,
by the way. That's
Bud
another
Honey.
great-
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great guy too.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. We need a big dude, wasn't he? Like kind of,
Yeah.
but he could fucking rock, man.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't get bigger. But anyhow, so fuck, there was something I was going to say about one of those bands that you were talking
Alice in
about.
Chains.
No, about
Green
Joy
Apple Quick
Division
Step?
earlier. Joy Division. Oh, Green Apple Quick Step, yeah. Dirty Water Ocean, man. I love that song. So I get back there and I'm kicking around, and of course I'm partying, doing dope and all, and I reconnect with this chick, Anita, told you earlier.
Okay.
And I just had total hots for her. So she and I hook up, like young people will do, and we did what young people do. And
He shot up the club.
yeah, and, yeah, you can say that. I shot up something. It was a swimming competition, and,
Yeah.
and one of them won.
Yeah.
So anyhow, she gets pregnant. Now I got friends down there that like to go down to Mexico all the time. So I'm getting ready to walk out the door to hop in this VW bus to head to Mexico for the weekend, and I get a call, and she's like, "I'm pregnant." Yeah, fuck. And so kind of got in a conversation, and then I was like, "I'll be back Monday. I'll call you." And I got back, and I called this payphone outside her apartment, and dude, when I got her, long story, I got told to fuck off. We're gonna take care of it. We're gonna take care of the situation. Don't worry about it. I was led to believe that the child was not going to be.
Yeah. Here.
So
There was going to be no fault.
Trust me when I say that fucked me up.
Sure.
Because I felt like, well, I must be such a piece of shit that someone doesn't even want to have my child. You know, and it really fucked with my head. And I don't want to make excuses, but you know, we all have like triggers and certain traumas that kind of push us
Sure.
towards our
Yeah.
shit. Right? Time goes by. I clean up. I get a job at Bally's U.S. Swim and Fitness. I'm working out, getting in shape and all. And I decide I'm going to go sing for this band. And I auditioned a band called Industrial Slam, and we got known as the Phoenix Pantera. And, yeah, we would cover Pantera, dude, and sound just fucking like them.
Nice.
And anyhow, as I'm working at the Bally's, this guy comes up to me and he says, "Hey, man, you said you did some shit in the past." He goes, "I got this guy from New York. Says he's got some friends back in New York with a lot of vowels in their name that be willing to loan us 10 grand if we can pay him 15 grand back in a week. Should we do it?" I looked at him. I didn't blink. I said,
Nope.
"Get the fucking money." So we got the money, and I went and I reconnected with my old connects, and I got the yayo and a bunch of fucking shit, you know, that fucking brickweed. And I had a friend that was a DJ at a strip club up in Rock Springs, Wyoming, and fucking boom, went up there and set up shop.
Yeah.
And about over 3 months. So those guys, those fellows back in New York, they had their money back in 5 days. I
Sure.
didn't fuck around. They told him when they got the money, they said, "Tell your friend we like the way he does business. Like we appreciate that. If he needs any help with anything, let us know." He says, "You know, if you need to do it again." I was like, "No, one and done. We're good." It's like I tell him I appreciate it, but I ain't getting in bed with the fucking, you know, New
No.
York Mafia.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyhow, we sat up there and like Nikki fucking hustle, 3 months, $80,000.
Yeah.
When did you come back here?
So I fuck around there. Now while I'm down there, my friend Tony is an amazing guitar player, Tony McLean.
Sure.
He's got a band down there called Ayla, I think is what it's called, or Ayla, something like that. But fuck, I heard some of his tracks he sent to me, man. They're fucking awesome. The guy's an incredible guitar player. We just happened to be friends. So, you know, Jason Newsted left Flotsam and went to Metallica to replace Cliff.
Right.
So this guy, Jason Ward from Chicago, replaced Jason Newsted. And when we were friends with Jason Ward, and we go over to his apartment, we're hanging out, and he says, "Hey, fellas," hands me and Tony fucking all access VIP passes to Compton Terrace, Suicidal Tendencies, White Zombie, and fucking Flotsam. And he says, "Only one fucking rule, boys." He says, "When Flotsam goes on," he goes, "you two motherfuckers be standing next to my bass stack, rocking out. When I turn around to high five my fucking brothers, you better be standing there." And we're like, yeah, okay, twist a little harder, man. Like, you want us to stand back to you know. Great experience. Like I said, man, I've just got so many wonderful experiences and
Totally.
stories, right?
How the fuck did you get into Waterboys? So where did this come from?
So it's like I said, it's methadone for a heroin addict. So I'm telling you these stories so you understand. Like, I'm standing on stage with Flotsam and Jetsam, dude, and I'm seeing
Sure.
the crowd of people. This is what I want to fucking do right here, man.
Right.
This is it.
Yeah.
So I'm singing with this band. We play some shows. There's a band in Phoenix called Hate Incorporated. Chad Moynihan, if you're out there, what's up, brother? I'm sorry. I worked him, and like I finally got him to let us open for him at the Library Cafe. We fucking played a show and blew the fucking roof off the place. I've never seen a band go on after like another band and fucking lose their shit because they know they just got fucking like,
Yeah.
how do I fucking follow that kind of thing?
Sure.
But we did that, and
That's
like,
why
I was just like that night. I'm like, because there was like 700 some people in the Library Cafe in Phoenix, and I was just like, we're on our way. We're fucking on our way. And 2 nights later, one or 2 nights later, I think it was 2 nights later. I think we played Friday night, and that was Sunday night. My drummer calls me, "Nicky, get down to the practice room." So this is '93, and somebody had broken in. I don't know how the fuck they broke in, deadbolt door and all, but they broke in and they stole everything except the drum kit and the fucking receiver. They stole the wireless mic and the stand because whoever the fucking idiot was didn't know that a wireless mic doesn't just work magically. There's a fucking receiver.
Sure.
So we knew it probably was somebody who didn't know fucking dick all about music. But anyhow, band's done. So now I'm really heavy into the drinking and shit. And my friend Jay calls me from Seattle and says, "Hey, we need a singer, man. Move back up here." So fucking '94, May 6th, '94, I fucking haul my ass back up here. and I kick around for a while, and then I become a bike messenger, and I'm thinking about, the broadcasting school stuff that I did. There were people used to tell me, like, remember when I went into class one night and the students were like looking at the R&R review. You remember that, the Rock and Radio Review? It was like the Bible in the industry. If you had that, it had everybody in there, man.
Sure.
So they're sitting there and they're reading the fuck, and they're like, Nikki, come here. We found your job. And it's like, MTV is looking for VJs. This is
Right.
1988, right? So
Yeah.
like, or 88, 89, 89. And they're like, MTV is looking for VJs. And I'm like, yeah, that probably sounds like me. But I remember when I had done the initial test to get into broadcasting school, the lady said, are you sure you want to do radio? And I go, yeah, why? She goes, because your television deal. She goes, we've never given a entry a perfect score. She goes, you scored perfectly. She said, you stared at the camera, you read, your diction was perfect. You read the news story and you stared at the camera. And she goes, you just seem so comfortable in front of the camera. And I went, yeah. I go, you stand on stage in front of people, it's camera's nothing,
Yeah.
Easy.
And she's like, yeah, it just seems like you weren't phased at all by it. She goes, most people up there, they're nervous and you can just tell. She goes, you responded. She goes, why don't you want to do television? I said, it's the youth. I'm not going to cut my hair.
Mm.
Of course, when you met me, I was all clean cut.
Yeah, totally.
So anyhow, I'm kicking around as a bike messenger, and the gal I'm with, her friend, who I was introduced to her through, her guy was also a bike messenger for Buc-ee's. I was with Elliott Bay Messenger Company, and Paul was with Buc-ee's. And so he and I are hanging out, and we're fucking behind the Nordstrom's there, in Westlake, and smoking, smoking up. And we'd go up on the roof at a Sub Pop building, 1932, fucking smoke. And we just kept talking and becoming friends. And he's like, so you want to do this sports show, huh? He goes, well, I remember you saying you wanted to do it, but you didn't really want to do it alone. You're like, yeah, I want to co-host so we can bounce shit off. He goes, well, I'll do it with you.
Right.
And so we're over on Alki at his place on Alki, and we're talking. He's like, yeah, let's fucking do it. It's like, all right, let's do it. And I was like, what should we call ourselves? And I'm like, I'm like, Perfect World Sports, because in a perfect world, I'm like, yeah, nah, that's fucking cheesy. And then he says, I'm living in a house, me and my wife to be, are living across from Ray's boathouse in Shilshole, and he's living there on Alki. Well, we both live fucking right on the water. So we were the Waterboys.
Mm.
And that's how we got it. It's
Yeah.
like, and then we said, yeah, I said, and then on the show, I was like, yeah, we're the Waterboys. I like, we're not good enough to play for the team. We're just good enough to sit here and talk shit about them.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know?
Right. Yeah.
And that's how the show came to be. And yeah, we went in and it was just, we started it. And I remember Kevin Reese from KSTW, Channel 11, they did this 2-night expo. And that kind of helped us blow up because we were new. We were just doing the show. And he came and did this thing, public access or excess, and they had Goddess Kring and all the other.
Yeah.
And they were talking about it because all the shit was going on with Mike Hunt and and TJ and all that, the sex and the porn and all that. And I told, and the crazy thing is the 2 nights together. If you did like we mapped out how much time, the Waterboys, we had the lion's share of coverage on both nights. Like, and we taught the first thing, guys, me, I'm always good for a quote. He says, so tell us about the show. And we're like, yeah, we're just 2 guys who like sports. And I said, I went to school for it. And I was like, and I kind of like to break into the industry. I said, but we just decided that public access was a good way to kind of, get some experience and get our name out there. And I go, and besides, it's free. And
Yeah.
they took that and they ran with it. And they're like,
Yeah.
that's right, it is free. He like literally took my line and was like, it is free and blah, blah, blah. And then they went on with the story. And so from that, we started gaining a following. And then people started showing up and saying, hey, you said you needed volunteers. I'm like, yeah. And it's like we had an open door. Come on in, man. Like, it's public access. We're just all love here. You want to. And I tell people to this day, I'm like, I'm so thankful for all of those people that walked in there because you don't do a show there without the people behind the scenes working for you. And they were all doing it free because they just wanted to be a part of it. And it's like, and Paul and I, we were having so much fun and just cutting up and just pushing the envelope, and people fed off of that.
Yeah.
Thorne was like, they just totally fed into that shit because it was like, he didn't have to be professional. You didn't have to be like polished and dressed. Like just be yourself, man. It was all just do what you can do, and we appreciate you for it. And so we started doing the show for a while, and I finally went to the people that ran it, and I said, look, man, we get fucking, you guys give us a half-hour live show, and then the hotline studio is empty, and I'm like, and by the time we're really getting into it, we're done. will you please consider allowing a show to be on for an hour live? And so I was literally the reason why live shows became a 1 hour.
Yeah.
They had never been 1 hour before on public access. I went in and said, hey, we're capable of doing I said, fuck, we're capable of doing a 2 hour, 3 hour show if you let us. But I said,
Right.
but if we could get an hour block. So they went and they literally blocked out hour spots for live shows, and the Waterboys were the
Well,
first.
that's crazy
first
because like
live
people were
1 hour
calling
show.
in, people were fucking.
You know,
Yeah,
you
dude.
were part of, you experienced it.
Yeah,
man.
it was
Like,
crazy. Like people, and
the phone line was like from the time we started to
Yeah.
the end of the show was just jammed, dude.
Which is the funny thing is like, I think we take it for granted now, right? Because we live in a world where nothing is really risque,
Yeah.
right? Like you
no.
watch ABC on prime time and they're saying shit now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, and but then
Oh, I would say
some of the stuff that, but the people on the phone, right? Like the people on the phone, like this was on, you could
Oh yeah.
just click to the channel.
Oh yeah.
Right. And there was like, people were just saying crazy shit.
Dude,
right?
I've been called everything, but so I'm working at KZOK at this time when I first started doing the show, and Gary Crow comes to me. I don't know if you know who Gary Crow is.
I remember the name.
So Gary Crow goes, "Hey Nick," goes, "I'm having Greg Haugen, the Mutt, the boxer, right? He used to
Okay.
be a world champion. He's from Auburn. He says he became a champion, but then he got into drugs and alcohol and fucked his career up. But then he got sober and he was making a comeback and all. And so he was going to have this comeback fight. And so Gary says, "Hey, I'm be interviewing him. Do you want me to give him your number, see if you can get him on your show?" I was like, "Sure." So we get him on. Greg comes down to the studio and he comes on the show with us, and he sits between me and Paul. And we're sitting there and we're talking. And this is just after Tyson had bitten Holyfield's ear. And so I looked at Greg and I just interview question. I said, Greg, I imagine you've probably been in some fights before where you probably got frustrated with your opponent to the point where, you were trying to figure out. I said, have you ever been so frustrated with an opponent that you wanted to bite a body part off? And bro, this got me death threats, what he said. So please don't take this as it came from me. I'm verbatim.
Why would someone threaten your
Listen
life
to what
over that?
listen. No, not that. What his response was, Damon, he said, he stops and he says, "Look, folks, I don't mean to sound racist or nothing."
Which always is the
Was always
Right.
Always a lead up to
the
a
racist
racist
is about to be
Some
said.
racist shit's about to
He
be
says,
said.
"I don't mean to sound racist or anything, but I think they ought to take out and shoot him."
Oh, there you go. That's
Oh,
the death threat.
geez.
And Paul and I, what got us the death threats was Paul and I looked at each other. We're sitting on the other side of a world champion fucking boxer. Not some pussy that we can
Right,
just...
then you want to pull him up.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, so
He's going to beat the shit
so
out of
my
you.
brain, my little Native American, black and white looking brain is spinning like a fucking hamster in a wheel, and Paul's over there, Mr. fucking Croatian,
Nothing prepares you for that.
nothing,
It's
dude.
always a
Yeah.
fucking
And I'm
left,
from
dude.
fucking
Like,
Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah. It's
know,
always a left. Like,
Well, yeah. What do they say? It's the punch you don't see that knocks you out.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, that was, yeah. And so we were like, we just went, okay. And I just decided, you know what? Let's move this conversation on and get off of that. And I
you're
was like,
live,
okay.
though.
We're live.
Right.
There's no fucking delay.
It's live.
There's
like,
no delay. There's no 7
editing.
seconds.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it went out. I fucking get home, dude. So we do the show and everything. We thank Greg for coming. And then Paul, and after he leaves, I'm just like, I looked at Paul, both of us, just our eyes as big as saw. We're like, holy fuck, dude. He really said that. And he goes, dude, and so we're
sucks.
both,
Yeah.
we're both
It
just
sucks.
like,
Yeah.
I pull up to my house over in Ballard and Loyal Heights, and I walk in, and my wife is standing there. She's like, what the fuck is going on? I go, what, honey? She goes, the phone, because you have to give a contact, either an address or a phone number. Well, fuck if I'm giving my address.
Right.
You know, Billy Costello's fucking phone number is, this is before cell phones. I don't, this is 19 fucking 98 probably.
Sure.
98, 90.
Do you wish you would have taken the ass whooping now?
Right.
In a way,
Like, do you-
or call him out, or
Do you
just
ever?
like,
Do you
bro,
ever wish
like,
you
Well,
could go
because like
like-
even if it had gone to an ass whooping, like your ratings would have skyrocketed.
skyrocketed, I
People
know.
would have loved that.
The
They're
lawsuit.
like, boy, he got whooped, but he stood up. You know,
And yes, in hindsight, I do. But when you're in the moment, the shock is
No,
so fucking significant.
look,
Dude, it is fucking. It is hard.
Hindsight
Yeah.
is 20/20 and all that, and like, yeah, I do kind of wish I had fucking stood up and said something, but at the same time, like when it's easy to judge it from the outside, but
No,
when you're
dude.
in the fucking moment,
Look,
it's like it
Look,
fucks with you.
nobody's got a perfect counterpunch every time.
Yeah,
No,
Every
dude,
time, no one's
especially when it's
100%.
'cause-
Floyd Mayweather's been hit, and he's about as quick as they come as far as that goes.
Well, and here's the thing:
Like-
when you're doing that, when that happens, like you're sitting there and somebody hits you with one of those, you're like, "Fuck!" Like that's the
Yeah.
first thing you think. You're like, yeah, and then I've literally out loud said to someone, now this has got to be a fucking teachable moment, right? And they're like, what? And I'm like, why the fuck do you think that this is chill?
yeah,
Like you misread me
Yeah.
all the fucking way.
Yeah, this is
right?
not
Like we're
okay.
not, I'm not cool. Stop doing that. It's gross. Right? Like, and people are like, whoa. And usually, thankfully, when you turn on them, they're like, oh, well, that's not, like,
Well, and there's almost never cameras rolling, and it's even less likely to be live.
I
You
wish
know,
people
and
could have
like,
seen our
that's-
reaction
yeah.
after, afterwards when he
So-
left. When Paul and I were standing there looking at each other like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
But my ex-wife is freaking because this guy is calling, and he's just like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you, you fucking racist piece." And I'm like, "I didn't even fucking." So I go back.
but
the
you
next-
permitted it.
And this is way back. This ain't even fucking. You see shit nowadays, guys say on fucking YouTube, and you're just like, wait a minute, you can get away with
Yeah,
that?
that's
Like,
correct. That's what I'm saying.
like, I'm getting death threats
There's-
at 98, and you're like,
There's no way to describe to people how salacious that is in that moment at that time. Live.
I went on the next week, and I immediately, straight out of the fucking gate, I said, we need to address some things about what was said on this show last week, and I need to clarify some fucking shit real quick with some people. And I was livid, dude, because it wasn't that you threatened me. I always told people 1125 North 98th Street, motherfucker. I show up at 7:30. Come on down and get you some. See how it works out for you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm easy to find, but I'm hard to kill. And I used to say that shit all the time, man. And I'm like, come on down, door's fucking open. I'm like, see what happens.
It was.
See what happens. Like, you just come on out, because it ain't gonna just be me. I got a bunch of dudes up in the booth there. They're probably gonna rat pack your ass before I even get a chance to.
Well,
whoop on you,
yeah,
but
and I'm less afraid of getting my ass whooped than I am of people coming after anybody I know.
yeah. And that's what pissed me off. Is my ex,
I'd rather
my
get
wife
stomped
was
out
so
than have someone
fucking.
make you afraid on my behalf.
She was literally,
You know.
they don't know where we live, do they? They don't know. And like, no, honey, they don't know have our address. And I was like, so I went on and I said, let me clear some shit up. And I said, some things were said last week by a guest on our show. I was like, and I'll tell you this, and I explained my heritage, the blood that flows in my veins. And I said, that's why I don't judge people by the melanin, man. I judge them by the fucking
Content of the character.
Right. And so anyhow, I explained this to the viewers, but I said, but let me tell you, motherfucker, I think I forget the guy's name, Gary or Greg or something. I was like, motherfucker, don't be fucking calling my house and threatening my wife and me. You want a fucking piece of me? Come get me. And I'm like, come on down. I'm right here. I'm like, but fuck Greg Haugen and what he fucking says. I go, because that was fucking some fucked up shit, and I don't agree with any of it. And Paul's like, yeah, he goes, Nick's right. He goes, and if you could have seen our conversation after the show, you'd understand that we were not fucking okay with that. But like Paul was explaining, when you're in that moment, and I was like, yeah, but I learned something at that moment of the power of fucking media.
Right.
When you're putting your face out there, dude, you are susceptible to
everything.
everything. And the psychos are aplenty. And I've been called everything under the sun.
And when people get triggered, there's no context.
Yes.
The trigger has no context.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it isolates itself and it gets hyper focused on that one part.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. And everything else we've ever said on the show is meaningless. It's that one mic.
You see it on social media.
We
all
see
the
it
time.
on social media
Yes.
all the time. Not that we have the biggest following, but we're definitely starting to pick up.
You're bigger than my podcast.
Yeah, we're definitely starting to pick up some steam, right? But even on like social media clips and stuff, and like it's funny because Damon and I will just go back. Like
They're hilarious.
I'll say something smart to the person. Damon will say something smart. You know what I mean? It's just like whatever, dude.
Yeah. I usually just post laugh emojis or
it's
something
just like, whatever.
because
You're just playing fucktard tennis.
this shit's so hilarious.
My thing is this, like, it's
Things
funny.
people say.
I know.
Yeah.
There's a guy in my comments who, and it bleeds into the table 18 comments because I got my own shit. But he's like a caricature of what a right-wing person is, right?
Right.
I find it annoying more than anything. But like, I'm not gonna block that dude.
Yeah.
Because I also believe in freedom of speech.
Right.
If you're not attacking me or being fucking abusive,
Probably not.
say whatever the fuck you need to say, right? Like, I'm not gonna fucking delete your comment. Like,
Well, and if you get over a certain amount of likes and comments, those guys are showing up.
Yeah.
So like, A, it's
exactly.
a symbol of your success, and B, they feed the algorithm.
they feed not only
Sometimes they start
Exactly.
arguments that run into like 30, 50 comments long.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
That's all great for your
You
metrics.
get literally bumped out. You get bumped out. It just becomes a fucking spat in the fucking chat.
Yeah, I know, but people,
Meanwhile, it's just getting more viral and more viral.
and people have said to me like, well, why don't you, like people have come, why don't you delete those guys, or do you think you should give them a platform? I'm like, look, I'm not platforming these people. They're platforming their own stupidity.
Let them run.
Right? Like, let them run.
Click some money nowadays.
If they're being abusive to people, I'll fucking delete you. And block you.
Right.
Like if you're like honestly being abusive, but if you got your head up your ass and your own beliefs,
That's another thing. If you're just coming at me,
go ahead, go fuck.
But if you're but if you're coming at people on the thread, then that's a different deal.
Yeah,
Right.
I started putting clips out of Amber, and I had to have a conversation with her, and I was like, look, here's the deal.
Right.
Like,
You're exposing yourself.
I'm about to put these clips out.
Yeah.
Right. And because what I'll do.
What you say ain't gonna jive with everybody.
Well, and I told her, I was like, look, I put a couple of me and Damon clips out, but I'm gonna start tagging you and shit where you're talking. Right. And just so you know, like don't read the comments if you don't have the stomach for it.
I
just
tell people all the time, I'm like, if you're sensitive, man. Don't
And she's
read the
not
comments.
sensitive, but like you still want to have that conversation with people. Like, no, understand that you're under scrutiny now. Like, this is something.
Well, if you're not
for anonymous motherfuckers to talk a lot of shit when they have there's no consequence for them. It's like Tyson said, a lot of people got comfortable talking shit and not getting punched in the mouth, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at. And I'm just on a side note, like I'm become much more political because I do this podcast with my friend JJ and all, and he's very much a Republican MAGA guy. Me, I'm just like, please God, somebody fucking do something different than the same old shit we've been getting for 50 fucking years. 50 years. I'm like, I just want America to stop being a fuck up. And I'm like, I want us to fucking come up. And I'm like, but I don't have any ill wishes towards anybody that has our best interests in mind. But if you're like, fuck America and fuck, I'm like, then yeah, I'm going to be telling you go fuck yourself because I love this country. It's my country. I'm fucking, and I go, and if anybody, I said, I'm descended from Powhatan, Pocahontas' father. I'm fucking a great grandson of his, right? I'm also descended from Pharaoh Ramses III. I'm like, but I'm descended from fucking African slaves and Native Americans and white fucking European settlers. I'm not going to hate any of them when they made me possible. I'm fucking love. I love this country. I like the stories I've told you. Where else could you fucking live the life I've lived?
Right.
Like, America is this fucking place where I can be literally the storyteller of a tale like mine.
Yeah.
I believe in the dream.
Yeah.
But I believe in the dream. I believe in what this country could be.
Yeah.
And I believe what it should be.
Yeah.
I don't believe in what it is.
Exactly.
I don't like the way that some of its people are being treated.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of marginalized people. I don't like the it's just gross to me.
Yeah.
Right. Like, but the truth of it is, like, I'm American trash. That's what I am.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
right. Like, that's what my people are.
Right. I'm never going to be. It's George Carlin. It's a big old club, and I know I'm not in the club.
I'm not in the club.
I know.
I've never been in the club.
No, and I don't want to be. My credit score is fucking exceptional. But my credit score is exceptional. But I realize even at exceptional, I'm a few points off of max, and I'm like, that's that 28 points from 900 that I'm away from. That's that group that I'm never going to be a fucking part of. And no matter what I do, like, you're just not good. Well, there's things you probably have to do. There's certain things you have to commit to. And I'm like, yeah, no, I've got a soul, bro, and it's not for sale to anyone.
Yeah,
I give it up to this guy right here.
There is a certain point where you get an amount of money that you feel like you can do whatever you want.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you do those things.
Yeah.
right? And because there's a certain
Worked for OJ.
yeah, well, there's a certain point where consequences are no longer.
Yeah, they had to remind him he was from Compton.
No, true story, man.
There's a certain level that you get that consequences aren't consequences.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not your consequences.
Oh, trust.
Their consequences are not our consequences.
You've been through the justice system? Yeah, no, maybe
Barely.
You have,
I've been
and
through
I
this.
have.
Yeah, I've got like
And
4 or 5 weekends in jail.
What I realized was sitting up there in Skagit, my attorney. Now I paid him money. This wasn't no public pretender. I paid money to this month, and
I have been to jail under a fake name.
It's actually his real fake name. To be fair, though.
Right, yeah.
But I realized at my
Son.
experience, and like I said, I spent 3 months in an ISO cell up there. The biggest stress is when you're waiting to get sentenced. The process is the punishment, I found. But
That's true.
you know, because you're anxious as shit. You're like,
No, yeah.
how many years am I going to get? And how long is it going to be?
100%.
How rough is this ride going to
100%.
be? And now I'm looking at 7 to 17. And otherwise, if I plead, you know, I can get like, I think 6 months or some shit. So I'm fucking sitting there talking to the lawyer, and I realize he's having lunch with the prosecuting attorney every day. Monday through Friday, these prosecutors and defense attorneys, they all sit down and have lunch and giggles, shits and giggles together.
Right.
So I realized, like, oh, it's a justice system.
Yeah.
And like, they all just want to get paid. But this woman, this prosecutor, she's coming after me because she just wants another.
Yeah.
mark.
They also get paid that way.
Yeah. And I'm like,
It's all a paycheck.
I just realized, I'm like, bro, I didn't, and I even had the marijuana permit and everything, but I just realized that, like, it didn't matter. It was like, once the system sets its eyes on you, because you're not affluent enough, you don't have enough money, you don't have enough pull, you know, you're just not in the club. And it opened my eyes to shit. And I was 40 years old, you know, after all the shit I'd done in my 20s and never got caught, you know. Here I am at 40 now with 2 fucking felonies on me. So I got out of jail. So I just went through all of that. I'm getting to the story. You asked about my daughter earlier. I got out of jail.
That'd be a good place to wrap
While
up.
while I decided to sit there and in jail, I decided I'm going to take myself off the opiates here because I'm going to be out in 30 days, and I don't want to be a junkie on the fucking streets. So I'm just going to take myself off. And the guards coming. I remember one guard said, "I've been here for like 17 years, something, long time." And she says, "You're the first inmate I've ever seen who voluntarily took themselves off of their own medication." And I explained to her, I don't know what I'm going to do when I get out of here, but I damn sure don't want to be a junkie on the streets. I'd say I got too much self-worth to go.
Sure. I mean, yeah.
So I'm 5 days in, man. And I forgot they Skagit, the old jail, July, you know, when the holidays and shit, when the jail fills up, they start bumping people for good behavior. Right. So, and they'll just get the rest of your time as time served. So I had 25 more days to go. I had 30 days left, and I'm like 5 days into my recovery, you know, my
Kicking dope, yeah.
And the gal comes over and says, "Costello, come on, you're out of here." I hadn't been out of my cell, ISO cell, in a month, and they just let me out in the day yard, you know, to walk around, get some. And I'm out there 5 minutes. She goes, "Costello, let's go. You're up." I'm like, "I just fucking got out here for the first time." She goes, looked at me, "No, you're out of here."
Yeah, roll it up.
So I'm like, "All right, cool, sorry." And I got out, but while I was in there cleaning out and everything,
Nothing feels better than there is nothing better than being in jail and hearing your last name, Honeycutt, roll it up, and you're like, "Motherfucker, yes, dog.
dude, it's
Don't
like-
tell
it's
me
like
again."
it's Christmas.
You're handing out like whatever you
yeah,
got.
whatever your commissaries, you know, like, "Here, man, here's the cheeseburger here."
Yeah.
Sorry, the ice cream's melting here.
Yeah.
But I got out, and so anyhow, I got out, and I had this Big Dog Wolf motorcycle 3 months behind. It's a repeating story.
Yeah, it seems like a thing.
I have a problem with. Anyhow, they repoed the motorcycle. It was funny because I had forgotten the year before I had reopened my claim on my neck injury, and PSC had fought it. Well, they relented finally, so I got back pay, full fucking year. Plus, I ended up getting like $27,000 fucking check, $18,000 and $9,000 checks mailed to me.
Sweet.
So I got the house in South Seattle that I told you I was living at, and I started growing weed and everything. Got on Facebook, reconnected with friends in Arizona I hadn't spoken to in 15 years. Flew down my friend Norm's a band down there called the Reich, and
Interesting
Yeah,
name.
yeah. Well, they were no,
I was like, are we gonna?
the RYCHE.
Okay, are we gonna? Yeah, right. Like,
So he was. They were
maybe give a little
no,
context.
they were Queens.
Right,
I'm sorry, they were. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
They were Queensryche cover band, and I mean,
Right,
a
totally.
really
Right,
Really?
right.
What do they sing about?
yeah. Jet City Women or some shit.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I go down there, and he's like, I told him, you know, 5 years after I had left Phoenix, I got a call from a friend that said, Nikki, I saw Anita at the grocery store and she has a daughter, looks just like you. And of course, the woman I'm with, that's probably not true. Anyhow, I'm like, 5 years afterwards, I realized that I might have a child. And so Norm says, you need to find her. So I got back and I got online and did this thing. And her mom kicked around in Phoenix and never had her name on anything, but one time, electric bill or something. I got an address in West Phoenix. So anyhow, I fly down for the 2010 Super Bowl. Norm's band's doing a big show at the Marquee in Tempe, and we get in his car and we drive all the way over from. I don't know if you've ever been to Maricopa, but East Mesa to West Phoenix is a fucking haul. So I come back and like I said, I found her address. So Norm and I, we hop in his car and we haul across Maricopa County to West Phoenix. And now this is the story where the women usually get teary-eyed. Every time I've told this to girls, man, I usually have them sitting there going like this.
So grab your Kleenex.
Yeah, here you go, ladies.
That's right.
No, this is where my life changed, man. This is like so. At this point, you know, I'm a musician. I'm an actor. I'm Nikki, right? I'm
Right.
still Nikki.
Mm.
It's funny because after I found her, I became Billy. That's when I just went, you know what? I'm just going to be Billy. Like I'm all that seeking fame and fortune. I'm like, God has been so good to me. And every time I almost got famous, God said, nope, I got another plan for you, bro.
Right.
I got something
Yeah.
else, something much better. So all praise and glory. And anyhow, I get out and we get to the address. The house is empty, and my heart starts sinking. We'll just go up and knock on the door, Nikki, and see. There's no one here, Norm. He says, well, maybe you can leave a note or something on there. Maybe somebody will come by and see it, you know. And
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, right. You know, I'm just like, I'm in my mind, I'm never going to find my daughter.
Mm.
Right. Now, I don't know her name. I didn't even know I had a daughter, you know, until my
Sure.
friend called me 5 years later and said,
Right.
this little girl looks just like you. God's plan, dude. It wasn't a minute earlier or a minute later or 5 minutes earlier, 5 minutes later.
Mhm.
We happened to be there, and not the neighbor to the left of me, but the neighbor to the right. The one that my daughter happened to hang out with quite often and smoke weed in her garage with or whatever, because she was a rebellious little teenager. I don't know where she gets that from.
Weed in
Yeah.
the garage is a time-honored tradition.
But yes.
Weed in the garage is what
Yes,
you need.
yeah.
Yeah.
And, but you know, not that her mom would have given a shit, but point being is this neighbor pulls up. Now the reason she's pulling up is because she's out shopping and she's got her kids, her son and her daughter, and her daughter doesn't like to pee in public restrooms. so
Yeah.
so she's coming home to unload the groceries, and she's daughter's going to use the restroom, and then she's going to go right back out and
Mhm.
continue shopping. Just happens to pull up to do that while we're sitting there.
Of course. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just the timing of things, man.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I've got my beanie, black beanie with the rhinestone fucking skull on it, you know, and tattoos, and you know, I'm clean shaven, but I got the sunglasses on, and I come over, you know, I'm just kind of probably a little menacing looking to a woman that doesn't, you know.
Right.
And so I pull the sunglasses off. I go, pardon me, ma'am. I was like, I was looking for the lady who used to live here. And she goes, oh, you mean Anita? And I lit up.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we're close. Right. And I go, yes, ma'am. I go, that's what I'm looking for. She goes, oh, and I sunglasses off and I'm smiling. And she goes, oh, well, she hasn't lived there. And like looking at her kid, how long has it been? I don't know. Oh my God, you're Kylie's father.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mid-sentence, dude. She just
Yeah.
like, and when I tell the story, Kylie laughs because she goes, "Oh God, that's Brenda." Brenda Horton, if you're ever out there, thank you. She starts shaking. She goes, "Oh my God, you're Kylie's father." And I look at her and I just go silent. And and she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. Should I not have said that?" And I just look at her. This voice came out of me, like we were talking earlier about voices that don't seem to match the person.
Right.
You know how I'm talking now, and I'm
Mhm.
pretty boisterous. This little boy voice came out of me,
Mhm.
this child's voice. my daughter's name is Kylie?
Wow.
She goes, yeah, honey, you didn't know that? Ma'am, I wasn't even sure if I really had a daughter until just now.
Mm-hmm.
I go, so what's she like? She starts going into, Norm, come here, brother. He gets out of the car and comes over. And I'm standing there. I'm just in, I'm in shock. Like, this
Sure.
is the first time I've ever heard my daughter's name.
Right.
Her name is Kylie.
Mm-hmm.
Norm's standing there next to me, and Brenda starts going into detail of describing Kylie. Oh, she's, very talkative, and, she's so funny, and everybody loves to have her. She's just the center of, and blah, blah, and she's just a sweet person, blah, blah. And as she's describing my daughter, Norm is sitting there, and I'm looking at his face, and he's just like, and I just watching as he's looking at Brenda. He doesn't even see me looking at him. I'm just looking up at him,
Right.
and his eyes are getting bigger and bigger, and he's just like, and he points at me, and he goes, "You just described him to a T."
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, man. So my not being in her life, she actually turned out to be more like me than she probably would have had I been in her life. What if
That's
again,
a
right?
weird.
That's a gene check right there, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the genetics.
Bro,
are there,
right?
Yeah.
Right? Because I get the talk from my dad, who's a Southern Baptist minister, and my
Mhm.
grandfather, who was a Southern Baptist minister.
Right.
I've got that get up on the pulpit and talk for 2 or 3 hours
Right.
easily, kind of thing. You can fill the room, right? So what somebody, cousin back in Virginia said one time, he said, "What do you say to 2 Costellos in a room?" I go, "What?" He goes, "Not much."
Yeah.
It's like, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But anyhow, Norm, thank God Norm was there, dude. Forever thankful for him. He says, "Nikki, why don't you give her your number and she can find Kylie, and then
Mhm.
give Kylie the information, and Kylie can come to you
Right.
When she's ready.
ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not just running up like, 'Hi, I'm your dad, accept me.'"
Yeah. No, that's a dance. I've had to do that myself.
Because my head was not clear enough to even think
Nah,
that
man.
far. Like, all I know is, like, I'm close to meeting my daughter.
That's got to be an emotionally overwhelming situation to walk through.
First thing I do when we get in the car to leave is I call my mom in Virginia and go, "You have a granddaughter." My mom told me when I got married to my wife,
Mhm.
and we were over at Golden Gardens for this like pre-funk the night before the wedding. And she comes up to me and she says, "Are you and Christine ever going to have children?" I said, "Yeah, she doesn't want to have kids, Mom. It's probably not." She goes, "I just had this dream." My mother's Southern. She said, "I just had this dream where you called me and told me that I had a granddaughter," because she's like a bunch of grandsons,
Right,
shit ton of
yeah.
grandsons, all grandsons.
Mhm.
And she's like, she goes, "I had a dream where you called me and told me you had a daughter." And so I called her. I said, "Remember that dream you had, Mom?" Like, "Yeah, you've got a granddaughter."
Mhm.
And she's like, "I'm not going to believe that." I said, "Mama, Maury Povich is not needed. A complete stranger looked at me and
Yeah.
told me she looks just like me." Like her from here down, dude.
Yeah.
My daughter, the smile. We went and
Mhm.
did photos for a Christmas card, and from here down, dude.
The next weird
smiles
thing.
were
Crazy.
identical, bro. She had the Costello nose, but anyhow, my daughter called me, and then I went down. And March 25th is a special day for me because that's the
How
first time
long after did your daughter call you?
So that was the week of the Super Bowl, for first week of February, second week of February. So she got in touch with me. My birthday was the 19th of February, and I was hoping I was going to get it right, just like
Mhm.
that, because Kylie had just turned 19 on the 18th of January.
Yeah.
So I believe it was just a couple of days after my birthday in 2010.
So I had to go through this thing with my older kids where I tried for years to get in touch with them, but I had to
Mhm.
wait till they were ready.
Mhm.
Right.
And it took about 6 years before they finally reached out to me because they're really tight. Like the older kids are just like really, really tight.
Yeah.
And then they did. Like my oldest son was graduating from UW and he wanted me to be there. And
Wow.
that's when I met him as adults. And it's cool because that group of kids, so there's 3 kids and then there's a half sibling of theirs that their mother had after we broke up.
Right.
And then there's my 2 kids, and all 6 of the kids are like this pack of kids. Like they are in group chats together and they like,
Wow.
yeah, like, so it's just like, it just is what it is, right? Like,
Mhm.
but it was like, it took a long time of that weight, that
Right.
uncomfortable fear of like, I don't know if I can do this.
Right.
I don't know what
Makes
kind of
sense.
human I am.
Right.
I don't know what kind of man I am. Can I be a, like, I'm probably not gonna be able to be a dad to them, but at least I want to, and
But good for both of you to be for being willing. You
well,
know?
and there was
I met
thank
my
you.
dad when I was 17, and we talked for 15 minutes. And when we parted, like he never,
Never bothered again.
never seen him,
Well,
heard from him since.
I did a lot of work on it, and I would reach out once a year
Yeah.
and send them a message
Hmm.
and be like, "Hey, I'm here whenever you're ready. Like in your own time, you don't have to worry about it."
Yeah.
And my oldest son was like, "I'm not ready yet, but I will be at some point."
Huh.
And then he was ready.
Yeah.
And once he was ready, he was ready. And then
Yeah.
what I was gonna say is that genetic thing. So like we'll go out to eat and Amber will just laugh because like she'll walk behind us.
The manners, the
we
walk.
we walk, we move,
Yeah.
That's
we,
funny you
we
said
stretch,
that.
we clear our throats, we do all of these things exactly the fucking same,
Yeah.
right? Like we'll yawn after we eat. Like it's just all these weird, and she'll just sit there and laugh, right?
Yeah.
She's like, it's the whole thing.
My daughter had a friend who unfortunately passed away. I think I think it was a fentanyl overdose a few years back. But one of Kylie's closest friends through high
Sure.
school and everything. But she was with us, and we were going into one of the stores, Fry's or something down in Arizona, and her friends walked by. She goes, "Oh my God, Kylie!" She goes, "You and your dad walk exactly the same way." And I was just like, "I'm fucking beaming, man." I'm just like,
Yeah.
"This is great, dude!"
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's a proud dad moment.
and then the other side, Anita's family, they're all there, like the sisters, two of her sisters, and cousins, and grandma and granddad are there. Bill King and his wife, the mother of the girls, but they're all there, and we're having breakfast, and I'm just sitting there, and I feel like a fucking mouse in a laboratory
Like
with
you're
a bunch
being judged.
I'm just sitting there, just being like, and they're watching, and they're just watching me and Kylie as we eat, and we're like, we hold our fork. Everything we do is just exactly the
Right.
same way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, as much as I was like, okay, this is sort of awkward. It was like, but this is really fucking cool. Like,
Mhm.
That's a cool thing. Yeah.
I'm a dad. Like, I'm a dad.
Yeah.
Like, this is holy fuck. I'm a dad.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and then it hit me. I missed every fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
And not only she missed every fucking thing.
Yeah, but you can't trip on that.
No, you're right.
Can't get
You're right. And I told her it's a 19-year wide hole in my heart that I can never fill, but I'm going to try to make amends with the rest of the years that I've had. And so 16 years later, dude, I've got two grandsons. I'm going to go see them probably Wednesday with her. They're the light of my life.
And I'm going to tell you,
And
like,
she loves me, and she loves me. And yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to tell you one thing I've learned. So my dad left when I was 8, and I had a huge chip on my shoulder. I don't really know him. He lives with my mom. I don't really know the guy.
Mhm.
I don't, he's my dad, but it's just whatever.
Yeah.
And then, and I swore I would never do that. And then circumstances
Right.
brought me to that being my reality, where I ended up being the person that left.
Right.
And I had to figure out as the abandoner and the one that had been abandoned, right? Not that you abandoned, right? But like
No, but in a way I did.
the feelings are the same, right? I've come to discover, and I've had to come to grips with it. And so I had a huge chip on my shoulder about my mother and the way I was all that to say, the most broken parents. It's been my experience that the most broken parents are the people that have fucked up the most,
Yes.
that had that 19-year hole,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
become the most amazing grandparents,
Right. Yeah.
because it means so fucking much more to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right. And it's not like in a way that they want to try to fix it. They want to try to heal themselves.
Yeah.
And in healing themselves, they become just the fucking the best thing that for these children. And so like even me and my mom's, even with my dad just doesn't really fucking apply himself, right? Like if he wanted to be, you know what I mean? Like he's just kind of always been fucking selfish and in his own fucking world, whatever, who gives a fuck? But if he called me today and was like, hey, I really want to be there, try with the kids, I'd be like, yeah, I mean,
Right.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Right. But there was a time where I was like really hesitant with my mom because I was too busy putting my shit.
Mm,
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I was putting my shit on the whole situation. She doesn't deserve that.
right.
Those children don't deserve that.
Right.
And it's a beautiful thing that Kylie doesn't do that to you, brother.
No.
Right? You get to have those two little boys.
You realize what grace is by the forgiveness.
That's
of a
grace.
child.
Yeah.
You know, you really come to understand, like, wow, that it's humbling.
It's humbling.
know, it's
It is.
like
I have a
this-
grandchild now.
This child has every reason to despise me, to hate me, to tell me to go fuck myself. And instead, Norm picks me up March 25th. She and I talk. I had just got back. I'm like, screw it. I'm going back to Arizona, you know? Like, why wait? I told her, I was like, all right, sweetie, wait, I got to meet you. I'm coming down. So, daddy daughter day at the water park was so fun. But I get down there and Norm and I pull up to apartments. And funny thing is she lived right down the street from where I was set up dealing dope years before, you know.
That's the way
And
it
then when
works.
she moved up to Seattle to come live with me, she came with like 1 or 2 days from the difference. When I moved up in October 15th, she came up on October 13th, or vice versa. But it was like just so weird, like all of the things that we did that were so kind of just like each other.
Mhm.
And but at the same time, she was also different in a lot of things. And I told her that's the better part of you. That's where you're better than me. But I pull up there. I've been on stage in front of fucking mass crowds, dude. I've been on TV, you know, I've done all these things where you'd think if you were going to be dizzy and, faint or something, that it would happen in those moments. Never.
Yeah.
I go to walk up the steps to meet my daughter, dude, and I told Norm, dude, I think I'm about to fall out. And he literally reached over and grabbed me and he says, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine. And I'm like, okay, all right. And I go, God, I hope Nita doesn't shoot me when she opens the door, right?
Right.
And she opens the door, and of course, Nita looked at me, and she looked at me like the first time we'd ever met. And I was like, oh, we might be making another baby.
Right.
But she gave me a big hug and everything, and I walked in, and Kylie's friend was standing there, and she's just like, hi, I forget her name at the time, but anyhow, I'm standing there, and she's like, she's going to need a moment. She's getting ready. I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden, she comes down the hallway, right? And she turns the corner, and I lay my eyes on my daughter for the first time, and she just, like magnets, dude, and she just hugs me, and I hug her, and she's crying, immediately crying, and I'm holding her, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. I swear I looked for you for years. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry I hurt you. And that's all I could keep saying was, I'm so sorry. And everybody in the room, Norm included, were just bawling, just fucking sobbing. And I'm just holding her with everything I've got. And she just doing the same, wouldn't let go. And I just realized in that moment, I'm like, this is what it's about. And I'm like,
Probably
wow,
better than you
I've
would.
been a selfish, fucking self-serving prick. Like I told people, and so back to that story earlier, someone asked me, do you ever regret leaving Seattle? You know, because you were right there as shit was blowing. And I said, you know, there might have been a millisecond there. So maybe before I knew about my daughter,
Right.
you know, maybe before she was even conceived, you know, or maybe she was in her mama's belly and I wasn't aware of it, that I might have been, oh man, my friends are all fucking famous. And now I'm not there. So anyhow, but I was like, but then I found my daughter and I was like, I'm the most famous, wealthy man on the planet. I'm like, you could give me 10 platinum albums, Grammy Awards, Rock and Roll Legend, Hall of Fame, and it doesn't even come close to that little girl looking at me saying, I love you, Dad.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Exactly
So-
right. And so I did. So, you know, but my daughter was in my life at that time, and I told people, I was like, it's not a make or break thing for me anymore. I'm like, if it happens, cool, man. If not, that's okay. I'm a
Yeah.
rock star. I'm a rock star in the eyes of the one person I want to be a rock star in.
That's what's up.
You know.
That's pretty much all that
So,
matters.
Yeah.
yeah. God's been good to me.
All right.
All right,
right.
gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's where we're
Thank
at.
you. Yeah.
Right on, right on.
Right on, right on.